Welcome, welcome everybody. Hope you had a nice day so far. Let's have some fun together in Guild Wars, I guess. And have some interesting debates, I would say. Welcome, Snowdrop. Welcome, welcome. You're already awake. What a time to be alive. So, here we go. Let's break apart some pinatas for the daily. And then let's do some strike missions, I guess. I have some builds to try out. Yesterday was obviously a really big cooking build that I released on YouTube. But I have more, let's say, a little bit more common ones as well coming up. So we will see what I can fill today. And they finally fixed the Kinfall Fractal CM. I'm so happy about that. You know, after I did it like 4 times already. So now I get finally my rewards. Very good. Let's see if they are worth it. I think it's just the general ones. I think there's no additional infusion or something. Or some kind of weapon skin. I think that's not the case, sadly. Okay. As always, if you have any comments, any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to debate stuff. This balance patch is like, for me, I think one of the best balance patches they've ever released. I think it's insane. Yeah, I will check it out later. I have not checked Discord today, so I will check it out later, Snowdrop. Thanks a lot for your work that you put in. I did not check it yet, but I feel like that's always really nice if you come up with some incentives. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate that. And I also, I'm not completely sure. I think I will do a video about all my builds on YouTube and make one video where I go over like the ones that changed. Because some builds obviously changed, for example, Chronomancer. But maybe I will also do a complete new guide about Chronomancer because it's actually the power offensive support Chronomancer changed by gear, obviously. But it also changed in terms of how you actually can play it with the traits. So it's a little bit like, not sure. Not sure if I want to do a full video on that. But we will see. We will see. So I think I have all of those skins. Yeah. Those things are actually, no, they are actually going down in price. Okay, okay. So, what do we do? Let's do some strike missions, I guess. Or maybe not. I wanted to play some Necromancer. I feel the Necromancer build is actually quite fun. Yeah, exactly. I think most of the builds that were changing, I would say like most of the builds that I released did not change, except like a handful. And those are most of the time just small changes. So I think possibly it's not realistic to say, I will do a video about every single build that changed, because that's like, there are a lot of builds that change, but most of the time it's just one trait or a little bit of the function. For example, on Spectre, you take the same traits, but the function changed by a little bit. Yeah, but the gameplay, how you loop and stuff is quite similar actually. So yeah, I think summarizing some builds in one video is definitely worthwhile. I will see how I will do it. If I do all of them in one, maybe that's a long one, or maybe I put them in like categories like PvE, PvP, World versus World. But typically the competitive modes are actually even worse to summarize, because there are a lot of changes in that sense. You will see. Yeah, that's correct. What's the best way to get experience in core mastery in the core game? So in the core game, you get the core mastery from all the core maps. So I personally think if you want to go for legendary in the future, if you just want to get the map exploration gives a lot of experience. You know, doing quests, doing the events there, doing. Obviously, when you complete a map, you get some things. So that's definitely what I would recommend. If you have done that already and you want to level your mastery even further, the core mastery, Fractals are an amazing way. So doing fractals and of course leveling your fractal mastery. After you level the Pact Commander, that's the first one that you would go for, and then fractal attunement. And then that's the fastest way, I would say. Just doing fractals, they give a lot of experience, at least core experience, and that's really good. So I can highly recommend that. But of course, meta events. So if you would do any meta events, especially the ore ones, for example, let's defend Ara or some kind of temple here, or attack them even if that's the way. There are a lot of mob spawning. If you run around with boosters, with food and everything, you get a lot of experience here. And it's all core, so you can actually get a lot of experience that way. But what I can also mention here, if you want to level your core mastery, the legendary crafting mastery is a big trap. Don't do that. You can, of course, if you don't have anything else to level, yeah, sure, go for that one. But do that definitely as the last. It's like insane. It's really not like bringing you any value. It's really like, this is only if you want to craft generation 2 legendaries, because those you have to craft on your own. But all the other legendaries, you can purchase one from DTP, you can purchase them by your own by purchasing materials and then crafting them yourself. You don't need that. It's really completely unnecessary. You don't need to do that. Keep that in mind. But of course, if you still want to get it, because like every player at some point wants to have every mastery, that's good. Sure, go for it, but do it at the last possible moment. So let's see what we can get. Split it up in light, medium, heavy armor. That could also make sense, but the problem is, I would say, then it would be quite, how can I say, quite unbalanced. So we had some, we would have some, for example, the heavy armor classes wouldn't have any big changes. That would be a video of like 2 minutes. And then I would like have the light armor classes where I have like video of 25 minutes. I'm not sure. I mean, it makes sense just from the design perspective, but personally, I think I would rather have videos that are somewhat quite, you know, similar sized. So I have to think about it. I have really to write some kind of like possible, you know, educated guess how long I will talk about some spec and then go over how many I can fit together. Maybe it's just random which ones are coming together, I guess. We will see. Yeah, 54k Mirage. Yes. That's what we like, you know. I mean, look, I don't have a Mirage here set up, but look at this trait. This trait that the Mirage trait that gives you 3 seconds of your shatter spec when you shatter with 2 or 3 clones. That's like, whoever designed that must have known that this is game breaking. You know, this is not even only game breaking in PvE, but it's game breaking in all game modes. It's like insane. 50k Blade Zone, 48k Inferno Alley. Yes. That's what a time to live in. You know, that's why I put this in the title. Yeah. Looking like he hasn't had his coffee yet. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just like, it's so hot here, you know, it's like early in the morning here, but it's still very hot already, so it's not good. Welcome, Roaming Spirit. Welcome. Yeah, so that's why I put it in the title. Good balance. Is it fun? So, because would you say that the game is balanced right now, especially in PvE? Yeah. So, would you say that is like, is it a good thing to have everything doing the same DPS and the stuff? No, I think the chat on YouTube should still work. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't read that question. 1 second. Yeah, so which kind of story would you go for first? I mean, if you have all of the DLCs, I would go for the chronological story typically. I mean, Heart of Thorn story is the best one, I would say, to start with, and then, or the Living World Season 1 at least at some point. But I would go chronologically if you are able to let's say go through all the long story sessions, yeah, if you want to do that. But it's not necessary. So what is You know, the thing here, what is the really big thing, in my opinion, is that they currently completely, the last balance patch, in my opinion, changed completely how they balanced, in my opinion at least. They say, we make completely radical decisions, experimental decisions even, and bring them into the game. And we don't care if it's breaking completely how the theory crafting and build crafting goes, and it's like completely out of hand how good some builds are and how like insane in some situations some can be. For example, Harvest Temple CM, I saw some crazy Virtuoso Greatsword build that is like really, really good there because it's like absolutely broken because of the multi-hitting of the boss. It's like absolutely insane stuff like that. So do they not care anymore and say fun is more important than the balancing? Or do they say we want to balance it, but we just don't have any clue what we are doing? I think that's really interesting. Yes, you don't need to complete it. Yes. Of course, it's decent for some unlocks, but you don't need to complete it in any way. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely insane. It's really like, do they not care anymore, or are they unaware of those situations that we got here? What is the thing here? In my opinion, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. I think they said, we want to make the game more fun, or want to have more fun changes than just number changes. But by doing so, they also took some kind of balancing aspect of the game away, because you can't balance stuff if it's like by design broken. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we just get some fun for a few months. Yeah, maybe you're right, Roaming Spirit. Maybe that's what they want to do. Yeah, I think it's definitely. I think the Mirage on thing is definitely. It's definitely true that this is unintentional. But I think the thing is, I think a lot of stuff, especially with Mirage, but I think in a lot of situations also, like for example Bladezorn or the Inferno Elementalist, they must have thought about this, that this is just game breaking. You know, you have an easier Elementalist build that does more damage. Is that their design? Do they really want to say, this is how we want to balance the game now? Or did they just think, oh, this is an interesting trade, let's put it in the game, and did not think about the consequences that it has? It's really interesting to me. I'm not complaining. I think this is the most fun times to actually play right now. I think actually in the last year, this is one of the most fun times to play Guild Wars 2. So I'm really happy about it. But I'm not sure if that's like continuing like that, or if they now saw, oh shit, we did so much stuff, we can't do that next time. And then we'll go back to just numbers changes. Thanks, Trino. Really appreciate the sub. Thanks a lot. Yeah, of course you're right. Of course you're right. For a casual player, I think it's not always like really noticeable if there's a big difference in the game. But I feel like for people that are somewhat interested in playing builds, even some casual players that just look at YouTube guides and stuff, you can easily play the Fire Wizard build and get like 45k DPS. It's like, it's really, really good. So, I don't know. Yeah, if you have the Nexus add-on, you can use the fast loading screen, and then you get to skip, so to say, a little bit of the loading phase. That's what I'm doing. I think they just don't have QA on recent patches, but shipped interesting changes anyway. I think if they don't have that, that's, in my opinion, then it's actually still a decent patch, because if they really have so little resources to put in the current iteration of Guild Wars 2, then I think then the patch is actually decent. You know, it's actually, the balance patch is way better than, for example, the content patches in terms of bugs and stuff. You know, they finally fixed, for example, Kinfolk Fractal CM. They fixed the, how is it called? The other thing, the Bavanivos meta event thing. So I think they finally fixed that, but it took them like a month or something. Whereas the balance patch, in my opinion, came out like a really decent thing. Yeah, so yeah. Welcome, EchoFox. Welcome. I think balance is overrated in the current life cycle of the game. Yeah, I agree. I think actually, at least in PvE, it's completely fine if everything is broken in another way, and you just play whatever is currently fun, and just everything is broken in a different way. I think that's actually way more interesting to play in PvE than just everything is exactly the same balance. I think that's my whole statement. I think in competitive modes it's a little bit different, because if like something is absolutely broken and you want to play another class and you can't win with it because it's absolutely broken, the other one, that's not good. But in PvE you don't really have that competition in that sense, I would say. Something like Inferno being busted for a bit after a change is pretty fun, but the Mirage is over the line. Yeah, I think the Mirage one, to be honest, you know, this trait, if they would have shown me that trait that it's 3 seconds of recharge, just baseline and not a percentage, just 3 seconds of recharge, Dune Cloak, on top of the already really good interaction that you get Mirage Cloak when you shatter 2 clones of 3. This is like, I could have predicted that this would completely break Mirage. You know, like a Condi Mirage that gets a 54k DPS benchmark. Of course, it's one of the hardest builds to play. But even then, it's like, even if you don't play it perfectly, you actually get a really high number with that. So I'm not sure if they actually understood what is the problem there. It's crazy. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Roaming Spirit. I think that's big changes every few months is really interesting, because then you are, so to say, interested in playing a new class. I think that's always a good thing. But they should also make some decisions that are like not completely crazy. Yeah, I don't want to see like Engineer being dead in PvP for like 3 years just because they thought this is a good change and then they never changed it back. Yeah, so we will see if they do see the same or if they don't do that. But I don't know. I'm new to the game, I'm a Necromancer and I'm level 28 and heard something about dungeon on level 30 or something. Yeah, sure, give it a try. There is the first dungeon you unlock at level 30. It's Ascalon Catacombs. It's a really fun dungeon. It's power crept like crazy, so you can easily just go in at level 30. You will still have fun. It will not be the easiest experience, but if you find some players there, yeah, really good. Try it. It gives good rewards as well. I like them changing different skills and classes, keep the game fresh. Yeah, exactly. I think making big changes rather than just small numbers changes is really interesting. Reworks, I'm always a big fan of reworks, because reworks change how you interact with a specific class. Not only big numbers changes, but also big reworks. Look at the Mirage change, look at the Inferno change, but look even at the Staff Necromancer change. You run exactly the same gear, with the exception that you now swap in the Staff and the Heal Necromancer, and actually it's a really good build. I actually saw a lot of Scourges in PvP, and I have to be honest, I'm thinking about making some kind of Scourge support build for PvP as well, because the Staff changes actually made it somewhat interesting as well to be played. I'm not sure if it's a good one, but you can definitely now make a build that is more coherent and more, yeah, makes more sense. So I think actually that's a good thing. I'm really happy about those, and I hope we will continue with big reworks coming in the next balance patch. It should be something in like September, something like that. So I'm really happy. We get the big prediction or the preview of it. Typically, I would say in August, like at the end of August. So I'm really excited for that one already. Yeah. If they continue like that, at least. Exactly. More reworks, that's what we want. That's what we want. Why isn't the best quick heal scrapper in the game in your squad? I actually don't know. I really don't know. The sad part is I wanted to try out different new builds, but then I got forced into quickness heal. And I think quickness heal is, I don't have any new builds that I want to try out with quickness heal. So I just have to go back to chrono. That's so sad. This upcoming Sunday or Saturday is the monthly? Yeah, today. Today. As far as I know. Pokey. At least for us in EU, it's today. In like 10 hours or something? 8 hours? 9 hours? Something like that. Yes. Dungeons can either be very easy or very frustrating depending on your party members. Yes, you can even solo most dungeons, but of course you have to have some knowledge for that. If you got good party members, you will be carried a lot. If you don't, you will die. Yeah, I mean, I would say dungeons is a little bit like, yes, you can start them at level 30, but for most players, it's more like an level 80 content, typically. You can do them, yeah, don't get me wrong, because you will be downscaled to level 30, but it helps a lot if you have the highest amount of equipment already and know exactly how to play your build. But you can do it level 30 as well, especially if you have level 80 party members as well. I like it when there are builds that are just a little bit busted, since they make me excited to learn other classes and rotations. Yeah, I think that's a really good thing. I think actually making builds that were previously not be played a little bit busted to get more people interested in them, and then slowly nerfing them a bit down, that's the good way. That's how to do it. I never want to see a build or a change to something that is really bad at the beginning, no one plays it, and they slowly buff it over time. This is like not good, because then no one will actually be interested in playing it until it's absolutely broken, and that will take years if you do it that way. If you make a rework that is absolutely busted, everyone will try it out, and then you slowly nerf it back down, and people will stick around with this build because they actually enjoy the playstyle. So I think that's how you do it. Yeah. Quick Heal Harbinger. Yeah, I was actually trying it. It's actually not too bad. It's not too bad. I would say it's not even close to being like a crazy good meta pick, but it's actually playable now because of the staff changes. It's playable. But I typically don't want to play builds that are like mediocre when I already know that, because I'm someone, especially when I puck all the time, I want to play builds that are actually carrying the groups, especially when I'm playing the healer. And if I can't do that, just baseline because of the build, then I'm not really interested in playing that build. Maybe they buff it, maybe they give it some more love in the future, maybe, yeah. Then I will try it, but right now I feel like it's not something that I want to invest too much time and effort in. Is Staff Stuff in Rust still viable? Yes, it is. It might not be the absolute best alacrity provider on Mirage, but it's definitely viable. Yes, definitely. Why am I always so slow in Fractus compared to everyone else? I mean, maybe they have super speed, maybe they have some kind of like gizmo that you can run, so you can use the Executioner's X-Toy or the Choya Pinata tonic, so you can actually get some faster movement attacks, something like that. Or super speed is obviously, if you have a scrapper or someone just knows to teleport and stuff, then that can help as well. I would say it's just experience at some point. It's just experience. Is this game dead because I don't see many Twitch streamers? Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's not the prime time right now, but I feel like the content creation scene for Guild Wars 2 on YouTube, on Twitch, and all the platforms is not that big. It was never that big, and now it got like a little bit worse because it's like there is not that much to talk about in the game other than the balance patch, and the balance patch is obviously just for a lot of people not that interesting because you want to come back when there is new content and not really new balance. You know, for example, Teapot plays a lot of World of Warcraft because most of the community of him is like playing that, and he's not really interested in the Guild Wars 2 community anymore. So that's fair. And you wouldn't come back just because of the balance patch and play like for 5 hours every day. So I can totally understand that. The game is far from dead. It's just not fun to watch unless you watch for the streamer personality. Exactly, exactly. So that's a big point here. The community is still very much alive. It's just that the content creation scene is very small. That's the thing. So there are very little amount of content creators that actually play the game just for fun and make content about it, because there are not that many content creators in general. So most of the content creators either play it very casually and just do a very small amount of Guild Wars 2 on the side, or the ones that are here just not watch that much, because a lot of people don't watch Guild Wars 2 content for watching the people, the content creators like me, but they're watching for the things that we talk about. So for example, the guide or something. Thanks, June. Really appreciate it. Thanks. Really, really appreciate the Prime sub. So they watch, for example, if I do a Chronomancer guide, they watch the Chronomancer guide because they want to learn Chronomancer, but they don't watch the guide to actually see me talking about the game. They don't want me to talk about some kind of discussion about the game or something. They want to actually have some new information, some knowledge transfer. And that's completely fine, but that leads to people not being really active on Twitch or on YouTube for the most part, other than guides. And that's not a really healthy state for the game or for the community content creation scene, because it's just not always the thing that you want to see as a content creator. You want to have people engaging with you, talking with you, and not always having to make some kind of guide about it, because at some point you have done a lot of guides and you are almost done with the game in terms of what people want to know about it. So I try my best to please both audiences. Hopefully that works, but I can already see that if I'm not doing any like big build guides on my YouTube channel, it's not as active depending on the content that I can put out there, just because there is not so much to talk about. This balance patch obviously gave me a lot of build guides to make about the game, but it's not always like very easy to come up with new guides. At some point I'm just saying, okay, maybe I should do something different, and then a lot of people are not really interested in that. That's the sad truth. Yeah, but the game is very much alive, very much alive. Yeah, it's true. It's true. A lot of MMOs are like that, Winslow, and that's a little bit sad, you know, because I think the biggest thing for a content creator that you want to have is that people watch them for actually their content and their personality. If you reach that state as a content creator, then you're happy. You want to continue streaming. But if I stream and like 20 people watch me and they are just new players that want to get some information, that's good enough for a lot of content. But at some point after a year, you maybe not want to do that again. Yeah. So I feel like that's a big thing. I want to have conversations with all types of players, not only some people that watch me for my knowledge. But yeah, that's just the course of the game right now. We're also just in a dry patch with no expansion reveal yet, and last major patch was pretty underwhelming for a lot of people. Exactly. Yeah, glad, June, that you enjoy my guides. That's good. More to come. Yeah, I think the last patch was really like a downturner for a lot of people. It's a little bit sad because I would say, yes, the last patch might not be the best, but I think the game is still a very good game, especially for newer players that don't have played all the things already and have done all the content in the game already. It's amazing. It's very alive. I would say it has a lot of players and it has amazing. I think we saw something of like, I think it was like over 100k active players at some point, which is like a decent number. But yeah, I think the content creation scene is small. That is true. They're boring to watch. People would rather actually play the game instead. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's always like if you want to watch someone, you want to watch them because they're actually interesting. They talk about stuff that is interesting or just are fun to watch, entertaining. And if that's not the case, a lot of people in Guild Wars 2 just say, why would I watch someone that is actually playing the game when I can play the game for myself, which is way more fun? Fair take, but that obviously doesn't help with the content creation scene. Yeah. I wish we could tone down heavily the visual effects in the game. Yeah, the visual effects they made some improvements in terms of that, but the visual effects are obviously not very easy to tune, and some of them are, especially on the new fractal, we will do it later, the Kinfall fractal CM, it's like very overloaded with visual clutter. And it's actually the hardest part about the fractal is understanding which attacks you actually have to avoid, because it's like so hard to see. So I can totally see it, and maybe they make some improvements there. But yeah, visual clutter is a big problem for sure. Welcome, Camille. Welcome. I'm good. How are you doing? Also, the main problem is veteran player, who are the people who would usually watch, have barely anything to do in the game apart from Mondays and daily fractals. There is no extensive raid scene, no duty related, mount farming, golden saucer, or other side activities. This is why viewership will always be significantly lower. Yeah, I think that's why I'm always like very big advocate of giving us some kind of long-term goals that are like daily including. So example, that you would give daily gold rewards to raids. Not as much as for the weekly clear, but you get some kind of incentive to go back. The same would go for strike missions. For example, if you could do the EOD strike missions multiple times a week for actually good gold, that would be good as well. Stuff like that. And then that would be the amazing thing, that you could earn some kind of mount skins. That you could earn mount skins for completing, like, what can I say, 100 times Veil Guardian or something. And that you could earn mount skins. But you could also earn mount skins for completing like Octovine, like 100 more times or something like that. Stuff like that, just adding something that we didn't have before, in that we would actually be... There are 187,000 active players daily. I mean, if that's true, that's good. I guess that's good, yeah. Something like that. Some more incentives to actually go back to old content, play it actively, and just have more people engaging with it. That would be cool. I really would like that. I think that I personally like. I think you can make all of those greatsword, spear, dagger, and greatsword. I think all of those can be worthwhile running. I think it depends heavily on what you want to do. I personally like to run the dagger just because for more safety, because then I can have more range as well. But you can of course run a greatsword as well. Greatsword is a way more aggressive. I'm not the biggest fan of greatsword right now. It has the bug still, so I think I would go for dagger personally. and Spear. We don't know anything about Guild Wars 3 yet. Yes. 20 gold per daily raid wing, destroy the Fractal Supremacy. I mean, to be honest, if it's only one wing, that would be doable once a day. Like on day one, it's let's say the first wing, and then it rotates, and you get like 20 gold. That would be very interesting. Very interesting. But they don't want to give liquid gold. So yeah, they will never do that, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Some kind of that you get mount skins or something that we have in the game, but you can't really earn it in game, like mount skins. There are some exceptions, but most of them you can't earn in game. And that you can earn some of that, or maybe just like make a gamble, make some kind of ticket where you can get a specific, like make it a loot box. I'm not joking. Make it a loot box. Make it so that you get a loot box where there are all mount skins in there, all mount skins. And you get this after completing 100 times this, on something, and you have a chance of getting a mount skin that you only can get in the gem store. Something like that. That would be, people would engage like crazy with this system. Really interesting. Yeah. I would grind for Raptor with Minister Lee head. Yeah, exactly. You know, people would really go really hard for that, because the game is really like, mounts is one of the biggest selling points of Guild Wars 2 for a lot of people, in the open world especially. So I think it's actually, in my opinion, would be an amazing idea to keep the players' interest even though there's no new content. That's exactly the same that happened with, how was it called? Return to season, or no, return to achievements. That was like insane. No new content, people just engaged for the reward. It was one of the best times for Guild Wars 2. They did not put out any new content, and we still got crazy engagement. If they can repeat that in the next thing, amazing. I'm just concerned for the future of this game. Call it sunk cost fallacy, but I don't want to get it replaced by Guild Wars 3. Fair. I think a lot of people don't want that. So I don't know what ArenaNet thinks about it. I really don't know. I think in any case, if you're a new player, Guild Wars 2 has a lot of stuff to offer, and it will take years until anything will happen to it. So like you have at least 3 to 5 years you can play Guild Wars 2 without any competitions of ArenaNet's other projects, so don't worry about it, in my opinion. But you are right, of course, for the long-term future, maybe there's some change coming. We will see. I hope ANET keeps making content for a long time. I hope so too. I think at least most games, if it's not called World of Warcraft, have some kind of life expectancy, and it will not succeed forever, but we will see. Maybe Guild Wars 2 will be run like permanently like Guild Wars 1. I'm pretty sure this will be the case. It will probably just not get as many updates like in 10 years, I guess. Is melee power DPS fine on Lonely Tower, CM? Yes, it's very good actually. That's actually exactly what you want. You want to have power bursty DPS that is ranged or melee, it doesn't matter, yeah. There is like, Lonely Tower has some very specific strategies that you want to have in the Fractal CM. But if you want to know more, you can actually also watch my YouTube guide about it, where I talk specifically about those things. Does Virtuoso give self boons by any chance? In PvE, not really. You can play some solo build with it, then it's good, but in a real group scenario, it's not that good with some kind of self-buffing capabilities. It's quite selfish there. In competitive modes, it's actually decent with the self-buffs. Depends a bit on the trade setup, of course. Yeah, maybe it's a remake. Maybe we will get a remake. We don't know. Which has more players, EU and AA? I actually don't know. They never released any information about it as far as I know. I think it's probably rather similar. Yes, we have no information about Guild Wars 3. Even if it will come out or whatever, we don't know if it's an MMO or anything. It could be really, we don't know. Could be anything. This point it could be a bird simulator. But isn't ranged? Yeah, I think typically you want, I think melee is completely fine. It's actually preferred, I would say, because you will stack anyway. Really, Final Fantasy is not doing well? Really, crazy. I don't know about that. I mean, obviously, if some competition does badly and Guild Wars 2 doesn't, then it's good for Guild Wars 2. But yeah, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, the bird sim meme. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that new bikini set paid them quite well. I think that might be paying better than the expansion releases. I'm pretty sure about that. It's quite costly, I would say. Yeah, it definitely has, like, I would say 5 to 10 years Guild Wars 2 has for sure, and even after that, it's like Guild Wars 1, it will still be playable. I think they will never shut it down if they have enough resources to keep the server alive. They might not make new content, but they will keep the servers alive. Yeah. Power Virtuoso in open world with Jadebot is okay, just because you can burst so hard in the 10 seconds. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point. Good point. Hot take, I'd rather see more quality of life than uninspired new content. I mean, Snowbleach, I'm with you. I'm actually with you. I want to have balance changes and quality of life changes and features. I don't care about new content. I'm not joking, actually. I'm a content creator and I don't care about new content. What does that say about me? I just want to have fun and play the game in various ways. You know, stuff that is already there, it's good enough for me. I want to grind new stuff, new features and new skins and that kind of stuff, maybe. But not new content that much. If it's the new content is quite uninspired or not really interesting to me, I don't care that much about it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Exactly. It was the same thing with the bikini than it was with the EOD thing. Ooh, we have really bad player numbers. Let's bring out EOD, where we go back to Kantha and everyone will buy it, even if they haven't played Guild Wars 2 in like 10 years. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's how they pull some kind of things. Yeah, that's how they do it. Okay, let's do some roaming. Hopefully the next break class in case of emergency is abandoned. Abaddon, that's how it's called. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the story of Guild Wars 2 at this point, I'm not sure if they actually care that much anymore, like where it's going. The last story patch was, or the last really big rotation, like Chancellor Wilds and stuff, I'm not even sure if the players are actually liking it anymore. I was never a big story fan, but right now I feel like even the story players are not that happy about it. So I'm not sure if they actually can fix it with the next expansion. Maybe, but I'm not sure. Do you make keybinds for builds and templates, or do you just manually switch them? Neither. I actually keep my keybinds as I have them. So every character uses exactly the same keybinds, because I don't need to switch them. I have everything bound to my mouse and I can just use them whenever I need them. Yeah. Which kind of fast loading screen plugin are you using? It's called, if in Nexus, it's fast load. It works quite well, I would say. Yeah. Have you tried Spear Condi Scrapper after update in PvE? I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's actually quite good. So maybe I have to make a guide about it as well, or maybe some update on it. Yeah. Welcome, Dark Kashi. Welcome, welcome. Soto or Chancellor Wilds? I would go for Soto if you want to go for the features. The features are better in Soto. You get so many features and so much build crafting variety. I would go for Soto. And can you quickly recommend me a low APM, easy big AoE class for most of the game? Ooh. What is a good big AoE class? I mean, Guardian? You could go for some kind of Guardian spec. Guardian has a lot of AoE. I would say Guardian, yeah. I actually didn't care one bit for Chantia. Soto was fun though, just my opinion. I personally think the features of Soto were the selling point. I think the features are the thing why I would go for Soto, personally. So when you want to swap from Condi DPS to Power DPS, what to do? I mean, what exactly do you mean by that, Mo? I'm not completely sure what you mean by that. Imagine the client remembering which achievement panel you had. That would be crazy. That would be insane. I would like that. I don't have it on hotkeys. I'm just using those arrow keys. I have some hotkeys set, but I don't use them often because I don't really care too much about them to do it very fast. But you can just right click those arrows and you have it very fast as well. So that's what I'm doing for the what's it called, for build swapping. Yeah. Because I'm typically doing it in PvE and I'm not speedrunning, so I can just take 1 more second, that's okay. Yeah, exactly. Chantervalse is like the spear, and the spear got nerfed now. It's like it's balanced. It's not absolutely broken on every class anymore. And that means just that you get the spear if you want to have a new weapon, and you get the housing. If you're not interested in housing like I am, you just get the spear, and the spear itself is like fun, yes. But Soto gives you weapon proficiency, gives you more weapons, gives you the legendary armor, and it's just and relics, way more better relics, I would say, most of the time. So yeah, I think Soto is the superior choice. Yeah, it's actually, you're right, Warclaw is also in there, but personally I think the Warclaw is more like a fun mount. It's not a mount that you actually need all the time. It's not a high, I would say Skyscale is more game breaking than the Warclaw. Yes, I'm playing with an MMO mouse, that's correct. It's not necessary for Guild Wars 2, I would say. You can use, for example, Q and E and C and X and stuff on your keyboard. That is around your WASD. But I personally just have an MMO mouse for my other games that I play, so I used it as well for my 6-0 keybinds and my some hard-to-reach F skills, for example. Yeah. What is the best map zone to grind in any expansion for most gold? My video is still relevant. They didn't change anything about gold farming. Bava Nivos right now is really good. That was the only one that was added as well. That's also quite good. What's an MMO mouse? An MMO mouse is a mouse that has a lot of buttons on the side of it. So my mouse has like 12 or something, even more with a multiplier. So I have like 24 buttons or something that I can press there. So I can use my thumb to press all of them, and I don't need to stretch my hands way too much. Yeah. Which Living World would you suggest? Living World Season 4 or Season 3. Those two are amazing. Good story, great maps, good farming content there. Yeah, definitely go for those two. What? You play other games? Yes, sometimes I do that. It's unbelievable, I know. I'm just making so much content for Guild Wars 2, but I also want to get other content or other games and compare them to Guild Wars 2, you know. It's not always easy to see how good or bad a game is if you just are in your own bubble. I'm always someone that wants to see different types of games and see how they are doing, how it's actually working there, because then I can give some constructive feedback by knowing, for example, and comparing it to other games that are similar. Yeah, I really think that's really important. I have all weapon and utility skills bounced to other keys. It's just why I can't rebind one skill to something else. This is why I play action cam. That makes sense, yeah. Makes sense. Traitor. I mean, I think it's personally, I think it's healthy to not play a game as a single gamer only. I think personally playing only one game makes you very addicted or very toxic towards the game. So if there's someone saying constructive feedback, you often offend them just by offending your favorite game. I think it's very healthy to make different statements about games that are just objectively true because you compared them with each other. I think that's just healthy. Yeah, I think an MMO is really good, but it's not necessary. Let's not puts it. You can easily use Shift and Control and Alt just to use modifiers and you will be fine. But of course you have to get accustomed to it. That's the same with an MMO mouse. It's just, I would say, a little bit more quality of life because you can still use the Alt keys as well on the mouse, but it's not necessary. Definitely not. Yeah, I know we were kidding. Just saying, that's my statement in a lot of situations. I always want to have feedback that is constructive, and the most constructive feedback you can get in the real world, in the game, wherever, is always when you compare things that are similar to each other. And that's why I think it's very healthy as a content creator. Maybe you don't have to do content about other games, but at least you have to know about them and have to understand how they work and what is actually new to them, so that you can make constructive criticism, can give feedback, can make something interesting about a game, even if you're only playing like one game most of the time. That's my take. You just explained that Guild Wars 2 subreddit? Yeah, sadly, a lot of people are like that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, camp flipping simulator. Yeah, no one is there. I don't even know. This is like completely like this matchup for our server is like horrible. They are just completely farming us in the evening, and before that, it's no one there. It's really I really don't like that. It's really boring. But I want to get my weekly done. That's why. Oh, there is someone. Nice. We can get a 1-on-1. Oh, it's a Condi Tempest. No, it's not. What is this? What? This is a Celestial Signet Cutter. That's annoying. I can't fight this, I think. Why are people always fighting like the most toxic stuff in World vs. World? It's actually insane. So toxic. Now I'm toxic and running away just because I can. Don't want to fight that shit. I mean, Willbender is not toxic. It's a balanced spec Snowdrop. I'm really not joking. Willbender in roaming is a balanced spec. I can't fight a lot of 1-on-1s just because I'm not capable of doing that. Playing as this toxic build, if I play that, I win every 1-on-1. It's really like Celestial Harbinger. As soon as you play Signet Celestial on Elementalist, doesn't matter if you play Tempest or Catalyst, it's absolutely broken. I made a build guide about it a while ago and it still holds true. It's so broken. It's absolutely insane. So this what I have an add-on. I would say using the Blishart add-on to see how many kills you got and stuff. That can be very worthwhile if you're looking for that. Exactly, you can make more broken builds as in SPVP. That's World vs. World in a nutshell, yes. I'm gonna buy the Path of Fire and the other expansion, but before that I want to get to level 80 for the first time. How long do you think it will take? I mean, it depends, of course, how efficient you are, but I would say if you're doing really fast, it takes like 10 hours, maybe 20. If you're doing it for the first time, it's not too bad. Yeah, I think Willbender is... I think I agree. I think Willbender is toxic by design because it's very burst heavy and very fast. That's toxic, but it's not broken anymore because it's also quite punishable. That's true. But I think the Signet Catalyst is also very toxic because they made it so in World vs. World at least that you can, for example, get all your auras permanently or most of the auras all the time, a lot of the time. And you also have the permanent Signet passives, so it's also really annoying. And as a Willbender, I can't fight against a Shocking Aura. You know, it's Shocking Aura kills me. So, yeah. And of course, they apply a lot of Condis passively, and that's also annoying. So, yeah, it's just World vs. World builds that are meta is a roamer, like Celestial Harbinger, like some kind of Celestial Elementalist. You don't want to fight them if you're not a meta build. It's just so easy. You will not want to fight them. Yeah, Viva, I was really hoping for some Viva changes with the latest balance patch, but we didn't get it, so I hope we will get it soon, in the next balance patch maybe. I think Viva is underrated in PvE, but in competitive modes, I think Viva is like, needs some help. Viva got like slightly buffed with the Inferno, or with the change to, how's it called? Pyromancer's Puissance trait. In PvP, it's actually quite good now, but it's still not meta, yeah. So I hope for Viva as well. Yeah, I mean, I think Scepter and Dagger can be really toxic, but I think you're right, of course. If you're playing some really annoying bullshit on Tempest, it's like you can't kill them ever. Yeah. Dagger Tempest, unkillable. It's unkillable in a 1-on-1 if you play it correctly as the Tempest. Yeah, I think personally they had at some point, I think that was a Solar thing, one of the balance devs before they got, so to say, they fired or stopped working at ArenaNet at least, was making a lot of decisions for ANET in terms of, for example, that you had each elite spec had a drawback. That was one of the decisions that came from him as far as I know. So each elite spec had some kind of drawback. And that was like really, really toxic in some situations because, for example, Spectre got like less initiative, whereas, for example, What was another example? Chronomancer lost the distortion, stuff like that, and it completely destroyed some builds in some game modes just instantly because of those drawbacks. I think it was an interesting design decision, but I think it was way better to not do that. It was really, really interesting. I'm 5 hours in and only level 30? Don't worry, that's the cool part. Just play the game, have fun. It's not a rush. You will do it for the... Like, you will play the game if you enjoy it for way longer than after reaching level 80. So, enjoy the journey to level 80. You will only do it once. After that, you can use, for example, Tomes of Knowledge. Where are they? Yeah, Tomes of Knowledge. To level your character. And you do it very fast then. It's like 2 minutes to get it to level 80. So, it's like really... The first one is the most important, the most interesting one. Enjoy the ride and just don't rush. You will get there in the end. Maybe it takes 50 hours. It doesn't matter. Just get there and have fun. That's really the most important part. Really, I can't stress that enough. Yeah, exactly. If you get impatient in World vs. World, just going for a broken build as well, that's the way to go. If I don't have any energy to really outplay on a Willbender or play something that is not that broken, then I go to my picks like Celestial Harbinger or something like that, or even if I really wanted to, Celestial Elementalist as well. Could, yeah. Solo was the hero we needed, but we didn't deserve. Hot take there, hot take. I want to get some ruins, that's what I wanted. Yeah, I think Engineer was... What can I say? Engineer... I think we will see some Engineers in monthly AT today, because there are some really obnoxious builds around in PvP. But is it a really good build in World vs. World, especially the rival one? Not anymore. So I personally think the Engineer is still in a weird spot in competitive modes. Sadly. Isn't it bad for the game for Power Cutter being 50k and Power Quickness Deadeye being 42k? I mean, I made a video about that, Mo. I made a video about that just like a month ago or something. And the reception of the video was really weird. I was telling people that power creep in Guild Wars 2 is getting out of hand. In my opinion, that's just a fact. It's just a fact that the power creep is like at a new maximum level. It was never as high. Just that's a fact in my opinion. But people in the comments were like really offending me, especially open world players, that this power creep is the only thing that keeps them playing, because otherwise they would not succeed in any content. And I was really surprised how offended people are by just stating this fact. So I'm not completely sure what kind of player actually wants to have power creep and wants to have no power creep. I really don't know. I personally think, for me, power creep is fun, but it's not healthy for the old content, like Veil Guardian getting one shot in under 2 minutes. Or 130 at some point even. That's insane. Is that healthy for the game? I mean, you have to decide for yourself. Is Warrior good at roaming in World vs. World? I would say it's decent. It's not the best one, but it's decent. Welcome, Stoic. Welcome. Conti Circa is good. That's true. Conti Circa is good. Yeah, I would go for Path of Fire. Path of Fire story is really, really cinematic. Really, go for it. It's really good. It's fun, but it's too extreme. Yeah, exactly. I personally think it's changing the game in a way that is very fun, but it's not always healthy for the rest of the game. The content itself might be not in a good spot. So I totally agree with that. Does it mean I will not play the game anymore? No, on the contrary. If there are always balance patches like that, I will probably play the game more. Is it healthy for the game for new players? Probably not, in my opinion. But yeah, what can you say? Yeah, I personally think Snowbleach, you're right, of course. If you haven't played Heart of Thorns, then I would go for Heart of Thorns first. I would play the main story, if you want to go for story, chronologically. So that means that you maybe skip Season 1 and Season 2 if you don't have access to them. Heart of Thorns is where it gets good. Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, and then End of Dragons, or the Living World seasons in between. That's where you should go. Good point, Snowbleach, good point. Yeah, I think the problem is Engineer is like I think Holosmith, Scrapper, they need some competitive updates in that sense. I feel like the elite specs themselves, especially in PvP, feel like in a weird spot. The core trade lines are decent, but you can't take all of them. So it's like it feels really, really weird. I think Engineer needs some help. Even though you can make some crazy bunker builds, I think, in PvP, but I'm not sure. I think Engineer will not be meta in the next things. I'm gonna be honest, I play mostly PvE, so those balance changes aren't as big of a deal for me with the massive amount of content. Don't know why people keep saying there's nothing to do. Exactly. If you're not done with the game yet, like a 10k hours veteran like me, then you have crazy amounts of content. So that's amazing. That's just have fun. That's really my biggest point here. If you're a new player or someone that actually didn't have like every single expansion played through and everything done already, the game is amazing. You have so much stuff to do. It's crazy. Yeah. I think the outliers are a big thing. I think they will nerf the outliers. I'm pretty sure about that. I think they probably will still have some power creep there. I think it's still very likely that they will keep quickness cutter and that kind of stuff around 40k. I think the thing is they will not nerf it down to numbers that we had before, let's say, Chantiavals. I'm pretty sure they will not do that. It's just how they do at this point. Yeah, there is a really big gap in terms of DPS that you have at some point. You have crazy DPS with like 50k or over 50k, and then you have DPS specs that have under 40k if you're going for, I don't know, DPS Scorch or something. Yes, the utility is way higher and it's easier to play, but still, the disparity is insane. 20% DPS difference, that's crazy. No other MMO has something like that. For PvE, the power creep can be fine if you're bad at the game. Now suddenly we'll be able to do content. Yeah, exactly. I think power creep can be a good thing. I'm just not saying that making the power creep like very crazy like it is now and just making the power creep go up every single balance patch is a healthy thing to do, in my opinion. I think that's just not it. It's just not it. Also, every map will be easier after you have survived Tangled Death. Good point. Tangled Death is supposedly one of the hardest maps to actually play, especially if you're solo. Yes. Yes, I got you. I got you, Stoic. Thanks, by the way, for all the follows. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for the support, Stoic, by the way. Really appreciate that. Always happy to see that. 55k Condiment Rush? Yes, yes, yes. I mean, that's a really hard build, so it's not, you will not reach that number, but in my opinion, you're right, of course. You are obviously very right there. It's not something that we want to have in balance. They will nerf it. I'm pretty sure about it. Yeah, they will probably not bring back EUD mech. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they have rival mech and it's still very good in my opinion. So I think you have that at least. If they want to power creep, at least power creep everything together, not such as a giant gap between those classes. Exactly. I think personally, power creeping is okay, but you should also take into consideration that if it's just one class, because we talked about that I think in the last stream as well, Mesmer is like the class that looks like absolutely broken. Chronomancer, Mirage, even Virtuoso. Those three specs are like insanely power grabbed, whereas you have Warrior, which is like, yes, you have Blades on, crazy DPS numbers, but that's about it. No. Stuff like that is I agree. I think there are outliers and some classes are just getting left behind. Sure. But power creep doesn't make people better at the game, and that's a big problem. Because some content just requires you to get better at the game, and if you get power crept and you get carried by that, that doesn't make you better. That's a big problem. Yeah, for sure. I honestly think the DPS disparity isn't even a problem, since 95% of players still do 50k on rival mech. If they did 70k instead, 17k, would it really make a difference? It only makes a difference for the top players, and those are mostly extinct anyway. Yeah, maybe. I would really like to see the numbers there. I feel like ANET should give us some interesting numbers. So how much of a percentage of players actually reach decent numbers on a build? That would be so fun in some kind of encounter. Like, look at Iceblood Saga Stoic missions. Say, how much of a percentage of players actually reach numbers on Bounce Scanner that over 30k at the end? That would be really interesting to me. At that point, you just play another game and come back when there's new stuff. Play only one game for 15 years is an achievement itself. Yeah, that's true. Good point. People always said Guardian was the best class, but now low-key Mesmer was always the real broke class. I think I wouldn't say it was always the case, because there was a time Heart of Thorns was really good. Then Path of Fire was really good. But then when Solar came and nerfed all the stuff, like insane, Chronomancer was dead in all game modes, Mirage was nerfed down crazy, and Virtuoso didn't exist. There was a time after Path of Fire where Mesmer was like completely dead in all game modes. I'm not joking. So I would say over the course of the whole game, I would say it's probably still Guardian, but right now it's definitely Mesmer. Right now it's Mesmer. Yeah, you can see that with Guild Wars 2 Wingman, but it's very skewed with Wingman because it's only people that upload the logs. So it's only tryhard people for the most part. There will be not the casual player that doesn't even have arc DPS in there. That's just not, it's very skewed, very skewed. For me, the best I can get is 30 to 32k, and that's just on Golem. I mean, that's fine, you know, you have to start at some point. And it's not like if you get that number consistently, you're better than 90% of the players anyway. I'm not joking, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I would love to see some ANET numbers on player DPS and fights. That would be really interesting. Not the Wingman numbers, but the real numbers, where all people are in there. That would be insane. I don't know if Solar was an engineer main. Could be. Balance God. Yeah, that much is for sure. Was it an engineer main? Maybe, because the God Emperor build came back into existence back then. Yeah, maybe. So let's do some fractals. Yes, fractals. You can join Snowdrop if you want, but if you don't, that's fine as well. I mean, it's fair if you don't want to play play the builds that are fun. That's always the most important part. Playing builds that are fun to you. Yes. Ease of play combined with high DPS. Yes, 50k plus challenging builds that only 5% of players even get close, whatever. I think the problem is ANET always nerf those builds as well. Even if it's like the most challenging build and no one can play it, they still nerf those builds. That's what they do. And then they make builds that are really easy to play, and they keep it at quite high level. I personally think they are not always making that difficulty of a build really valued. That's not always good what they're doing there, in my opinion. He deleted Warrior? Maybe. Yeah, that could be true. I think all long-running games that are maintained well need balance shifts. Same happened with Guild Wars 1. Rebalancing was a requirement for healthy PvP. I agree. I think personally, as soon as they stop balancing Guild Wars 2 and just put out the last balance patch, the game is dead. I really think the balance patches is what keeps the players, especially the more long-term players and the hardcore players, interested. As soon as you stop balancing the game, doesn't matter if it's like really balancing like a scale, or if it's just changing and reworking stuff that we get to play some new stuff. So, yeah, what can I say? I personally think balancing is the key of making the game healthy, for sure. Careful what you wish for. Good point. No, I'm on a U. Even though I'm playing Sword Dagger Tempest, that is old, but has a lot of nice elements from Reaver and Tempest. I think is Sword Dagger Tempest not even the meta build right now? It's a really good build. I think Tempest is some kind of power Tempest. I think it's actually quite good. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I would do it as well, the 95, yes. Because it's now giving rewards. Yes. We will do 95 if you're up for it. I actually think the new 95 fractal is actually quite fun. Are there some new rewards that they now put in as well? No. They didn't. Sad. I agree, been there since beta of Guild Wars 2, and that balances are always nice to see, even when they kill my fun builds. Yeah, I think personally playing multi-class in Guild Wars 2 is what keeps you playing the game way more than just playing on one build all the time. So if you played like the beginning of time playing Dragon Hunter and played it for like 10 years now, almost, you will get bored at some point. I personally think playing different builds, even if it's on the same class, it's what keeps the game spicy. Even if the build is not the most meta build anymore. I think that's Really, I really think so. Power Tempest is a big thing right now, yeah. You can play, I can show it to you. I'm 45k DPS Power Tempest. Yes, it's really, really good. I'm a Thief main, I mainly play open world, but I'm just not sure what build I enjoy. Do you have any recommendations? I think Spectre is really good for open world, because you have some support element in there and you have a lot of nice utility as well. And DPS. I think Spectre is a really good open world build, but if you want to have more power DPS, you can easily go for Daredevil or Deadeye even, yeah. I personally like Spectre. What do you think about Tempest with Bloodstone Relic? I think personally they should leave the relic as it is and nerf Tempest or Elementalist and Engie that use those. But I fear they nerf the relic and then the relic is dead and we go back to the just relic that everyone uses, which is like fireworks. It's sad, but I think that's the truth. Did all the Elements buy the Grand Piano from Gemster to practice the rotation? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think a lot of Elementalist mains just go into downstat. That's their favorite situation. No, I'm joking, of course. What is it? Quick DPS. Very good. Welcome, Saber. Welcome, welcome. I was trying to get a heal Alacrity Vindicator word after the patch, but I'm having trouble covering enough wounds to make it viable. I'm actually trying it myself. Not right now, of course, but I will do some guide about it. I have troubles myself, but at least they fixed some of the issues with it, because the targeting of the Alacrity on the barrier was really weird, and now they fixed it with the recent fix, like yesterday or something. So this is really, really cool that they fixed it, and now it should be way better than before. This is really annoying. Which kind of... Oh, afflicted. That will be annoying. I have to get more Condic lenses now. Yeah. I really think so that... Yeah. Your current build is a Dagger Shield. It's just... The benefit here, why I use this setup here right now, is because I don't need the Scepter, because the Scepter gives me a block, yes. The Dagger gives me the same clone generation and gives me more damage. I'm playing Harrier on this Fractal, or in most situations, I like to have more damage over a block. I don't need the block in almost any situation. Just tanking some hard-hitting raid bosses, that's where I need it. Other than that, I don't need it. And especially in this Fractal, where I want to get the mobs cleared if I get targeted by this attack, I want to, we will see that in a second, I want to be able to kill them. And that's why I need Dagger. Yes. Yes, the Herald build, the Condi Herald build is still very good. It did not get changed at all. I would run the exact same build, yes. Silent Smurf. Yeah, not the best Fractal, but you know, what can you do? I think it's okay, especially when I play the healer. I think the healer role is quite interesting here. You have more reason to play a new build, or something different at least. I like that. Maybe I can get the tank. Oh, the Condi cleanses. I mean, Daredevil PvP for open world. Pistol. Yeah. I mean, the Daredevil is like, I would say Daredevil is really good because it's really fast by design. I personally think the self-buffing capabilities are a little bit lackluster. That's why I don't recommend it too much, but you can still play it. Of course, you can play everything in the open world. I would still recommend it, yeah. I think my Spectre build is still completely fine. It changed a little bit in the traits, what they actually provide, but the playstyle and the trade setup is exactly the same. So you would go the same build and you would have probably even better results than before. So yeah, go for it. Sorry that I can't keep up on chat that much, because I don't want to kill my group here just by sleeping or reading chat in the meantime. There are some Condi bosses, like Echo Fox points out here in chat, but it's not like power builds typically are favored in like 95% of the game. It's more like ranged and melee, and then sometimes you want to have ranged option as well. Yeah, that's correct. There are some Condi fights, don't get me wrong, but not that many. That's close. What the fuck? How can a DPS player? Was that DPS? Ah, it bugged, okay. I was wondering how a DPS player has not enough DPS to kill this. Yeah, that's fine. No, it's our quick DPS, but still. Classical run of Silent Surf. Do you think Anet will ever give max skins for Mechanist? That would be amazing. I would love that. I think that would be insane amount of money that they could make. But I also think if they could do that, I think they would already have done it. So I think they have some engine limitations or something where it's really hard to implement. So I think personally it's not happening, sadly. That's my take. Yeah, there are sometimes I made a video about that, and I think it's really like hard to explain to someone that didn't do the fights on all encounters, like playing on power and Conti and checking which kind of builds work well. Some builds are really good on some fights, even though they are not really like a typical Conti fight. For example, Mirage typically is really good on Soulless Horror, on Lagos, on Matthias, stuff like that, because you actually have value from fusion and that kind of stuff. Nowadays, it's not that good anymore, but before it was like absolutely broken because those bosses hit very often, and that means that they killed themselves, so to say, very frequently. Yeah, he's playing the Elementalist downstate rotation. Yeah, I hope so. Hope not, rather. Yeah. I mean, our CC is actually quite good. I like it. Do you have AC Simmer? No, I don't. That's one of the worst things about my room here. I don't have any capabilities of cooling it down. It's like insane. I'm really, it's like it's getting so hot and it's like unbearable even. That's really bad. Yeah. But you know, what can you do? You know, I'm making content for you. That's the only thing that matters, even if I'm sweating like crazy. Okay, it's me. That's why I'm taking Dagger here, to kill this thing fast. You can do it with Rival only as well, but it's way better on Dagger as well, because you have way more damage. And you have to be Harrier. If you're Minstrel here or something like that, it's impossible. Best quality of life investment for gaming? Yeah, I guess, good point. Maybe I should invest the money, you know. All my donations go to investing into an AC. Yes, that's probably what I should do. Would be the most healthy thing for my insanity, I guess. Yeah. I stopped playing after clearing raids and strikes in EOD. What's new these days? I mean, I would say what's new? We have more fractals, we have actually more raids. So we got one more raid wing. But I would say if you stop playing after EOD, you have like 90% of the game explored. So yes, there is still good new maps. You get new convergences, which is like 50 player easy raid fights or something like that. We got that. But we got some new strike missions. We got some new challenge strike missions. That's true. But I would say, in my opinion, you played through the best part of the game already. So if you enjoyed it back then, sure, come back. If you said you quit because you don't want to engage with the game over and over with the stuff already, then, oh my god. then I would say Chansey and Soto gave good content, but not that much anymore. So I personally think for instant content fans, I'm not like absolutely convinced it's the only thing that you should get and should play. I think Guild Wars 2 it's more an open world game with the latest expansions, I would say. Yeah, exactly. The goal. Oh my god, how many targets do I get? It's so mean. Always me. What? How close was that? This fractal is so weird. We did it. Now we can come back and finally give some boons here. Our quickness uptime is... Ah, okay, there we go. I was wondering where my quickness is. Hope you like bears. Exactly. Bears is slow talking bears. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. On a side topic, now that the Steam sales are in, I'm thinking I'm getting a Guild Wars 1. That's cool. I think I might... Oh, we lost someone. I might have to go and try Guild Wars 1 as well. But right now I have so much content to do on YouTube and Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2 related. So I'm not even sure if I have the time for that. Sadly, I really wanted to try Guild Wars 1 because a lot of people actually enjoy it. And yeah, I think it would be amazing to try it right now. Be careful, I will not kill this mob. We will just focus on killing the boss. So in the last phase, you can skip the mobs if you don't die to the eye mechanic. He needs to get an AC first. Yeah, AC bigger than Guild Wars 1. Good point. Good point. Oh my god. Hopefully we are finally done with this fractal. It's getting quite annoying, I would say, after 20 minutes of being in this. How long is the average PvP game? I would say it depends. I would say it depends when you are playing. So if you're playing at prime time, it's like the average game is like 10 minutes. If you're playing in off hours, it's like more like 6 to 7. Because the off hours, you have way more stomps than you have at the prime time. At prime time, the matches are somewhat balanced, I would say, somewhat. In off hours, like if you play at 2 AM or something, you have absolutely insane balanced matches and they are really fast because they are stomps in one direction or the other. That's at least my experience. And the queue times back then are way longer. So that means that if you have like a 7-minute queue time, you have a 7-minute match, whereas you have like a 4-minute queue time, you have like a 10-minute match. So in the end, it sums up pretty equally. 10 minutes, I would say, is realistic. Crazy good group, as always. It's fine. I don't care if we let the kill. I mean, the quickness uptime was also horrible. That's a big problem. But we'll take some CC. Yeah, I personally think Guild Wars 1 is really cool. I'm not sure if I'm the type of player that will enjoy it because I'm a fast-paced player and I think Guild Wars 1 is slower paced than Guild Wars 2. So maybe it's not for me, but I might give it a try. Yeah. Do you know if there's any sniper Deadeye builds? I think the best DPS build for Deadeyes might use a rival. At least you can use it on Kadim 2 and Kadim 1, I guess. You could do that, but that's a very niche scenario. So should we go? I'm not trusting. Should we go for the side CC? I guess we try. Let's see if the DPS is good enough here. Maybe not. Guild Wars 1 will take you a long time to complete, but if you just want to experience it, shouldn't take too long. Yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit torn. I want to try it, but at the same time, I feel like it might not be the best game for myself because I'm really liking fast-paced combat, and I feel like it's just a little bit dated in that sense. And if I have enough time to get it to experience it very deeply, I'm not sure. We will see if I can get to it. Yeah, I think Sniper Deadeye in PvE, you can play it. You could play Pistol Pistol, which is somewhat similar. That's really good on Deadeye, Unload Deadeye. But if you want to play Rivals particularly, I think there might be a Snowdrop build, Snow Crows build there. Just check out their website. I think there is one rival build there as well, as far as I know. But I'm not the biggest Deadeye main, so I can't tell you. Sadly. I'm not a big fan of Deadeye, I would say. It feels too gimmicky in PvE. It's not my type of gameplay. But if you like it, I think you can make a build with Rival for sure. I think Rival is made for being played on Deadeye, so it's not a big deal if you want to play it. I think it's definitely possible. Yeah, I think, yeah, like Echo Fox puts it here, I think you can play it as an option on quickness DPS Deadeye. But like I said, this is a build that for open world, I wouldn't recommend it too much because it's single target. You know, Rival, Sniper in open world feels a little bit lackluster because you're a single target. So if there are like 5 mobs standing around, you will only hit one of them. That's obviously, you lose quite a lot of DPS there. If you like the roleplay of it, sure, go for it. But understand that it's not like absolutely the best build for to play there. Yeah, thanks for linking it. Yeah, it's true. Guild Wars 2 combat is like very fast combat. And that's why I enjoy it so much. I'm really sorry. A lot of games that I try out that don't have combat that is somewhat similar in the speed of Guild Wars 2's combat, I feel like it's too boring for me. That's why I play Guild Wars 2 for such a long time, because I love the combat. It's not the story. I can tell you that much. It's not. And it's also, in my opinion, not always the content they put out. It's way more about the combat. I feel like we didn't get the CC. Oh my god. Three harps. And 1 Virtuoso, and the Virtuoso does way more damage than 2 of the harps. That's okay. As long as we don't die here, I'm happy. Yeah, I think Deadeye is not too hard to play, but you need to get the rotation down. If you don't get the rotation correctly, I feel like it's not as good. Yes, you have Pierce, but I feel like people overestimate how good piercing is in Guild Wars 2. Because aligning enemies in a straight line is not always that easy. Oh my god, it's bugged. Is it? Yeah, I can't get this. What's she doing? Yeah, let's just go. Or just GG, I guess. Is it still bugged? Oh no. Maybe we have to engage then. No, it's not bugged. It's good. You could make the combat much more fast-paced if you micro all your heroes. Maybe I have to do something like that. But like I said, I really don't know if I have enough time to play Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 at the same time. I really don't know. I would like to have enough time for that. But you know, it's like I have a lot of time spent creating content for you. And I like to do that. But that also leaves me with little amount of time to spend like on trying Guild Wars 1 or other games even. So sometimes I'm not joking. Sometimes I don't play Guild Wars 2 at all. Like more than 30 minutes a day, even though I'm creating content like crazy for it. It's just I don't have enough time to like do everything. The day is only 24 hours, sadly. So I'm trying my best. I'm really grinding hard, especially with the new builds coming up. I have a blast doing that, but I just, you know, oh no. No, Snowdrop, don't die on me. What a scuffed group. What a scuffed group. Yeah, hopefully you still have... Oh my god. This is scuffed. This is so scuffed. Hopefully, Echo Fox, you don't quit the game. You know, we need players like you that are interested in getting better at it. We need more people. Yeah, we need more people. Oh my god, everyone is dying left and right. What's going on? Oh no. Oh no, that's a GG. Nice, you can. Yeah, nice, very good. Welcome back to the game then, Beowulf. That's what we need, more people, especially with people with good hardware, so they can actually carry the meta events where we have otherwise lags. Yeah, that's good. That's what we want. What is most fun to play and I can use raw Berserker gear for? A lot of combat in Guild Wars 2 and PvE. You can play full Berserker. I personally, it depends what kind of class did you like when you quit the game. Then I can give you more detailed recommendations, because there are so many classes right now. I can't tell you which one you should pick. Nice. You started Warframe? Yeah, Warframe is really cool. Cool game. I wanted to create content about Warframe at some point as well, but let's see. Maybe in the future. Because it's also fast-paced. That's the combat about Warframe is like very similar to Guild Wars 2 in that regard. Welcome, Ra. Welcome. Holosmith is really fun. Yeah, Holosmith is really fun as well. It's not the easiest class to play, especially in PvE. I think in PvE it's a class that is quite punishing. I hate those fractal instabilities, I have to be honest. It's like insane. Best power classes? I don't like Condi. On PvE as a DPS, I would say Dragon Hunter, Soul Beast, Scrapper, and Power Virtuoso. Nah, I mean, Fire. I mean, if you don't like Fire Tempest, could also be decent. Oh my god, we don't have enough CC. Because I used all my CC. It's so scuffed. It's so scuffed. I'm using everything. You know, I'm single CCing everything. And I can't more like every single thing. That's the sad part. I can't do it. That's one of the most scuffed runs I've been in a long while, I have to be honest. But what can you do? I try my best, you know, but I can't CC everything, that's the problem. Only play Frame Wars 2? Yeah, especially World vs. World and let's say a big circ in PvE, that can be quite challenging for your PC, that much is for sure. But I would say even the best PCs have sometimes problems getting stuff done, so yeah, it's just Guild Wars 2 is not made for that. The game is like running on an old engine, so you will have problems at some point, even with the best machines possible, I would say. But of course, they fixed it a little bit with the DirectX changes, so I think it's better than before, for sure. No, we did it. Very good. Yeah, I mean, maybe I will really go and try some Warframe content when Guild Wars 2 content is running low. Maybe we will do that. Fractal is a game mode. Yeah, Fractals is like dungeons, like Mythic Plus in World of Warcraft, if you know that. Something like that. It's scaling dungeons, good gold per hour, so it's really fun to play as a 5-person group. Clean, yeah, very clean, very clean. But the rewards are actually good and plenty of people actually play the game mode. Yeah, I think Fractals is, especially the normal mode, tier 4 Fractals, are actually a lot of people play it. The challenge mode that we are doing right now is not too common, but it's very fun in my opinion. I do it almost every day and it's very rewarding. So I like to do it. And on stream I can do it as well because I can do it and have fun and explain stuff, and I can also talk to you in chat, so it's a nice win-win situation. Do you work full-time while you make these videos? Yes, I do. Yes, it's quite a strain on my lifestyle, I would say. What? Why did I get targeted? Yeah, even tier 1 are still quite rewarding. Yeah, that's true. It's fine, it's fine. I'm just wondering if I did something wrong, you know. It's always, if I get targeted, it's always like someone is like annoyed at me or something. They fixed the 95 CM reward. That's why we are doing it. That's why we are doing it after the Nightmare Fractal as well. Yeah, now the burst is better. We have only one Reaper on one Harbinger left. Is it power or Condi? It's power. It's good. Very good. Yeah, getting into CMs and Fractals is sadly not easy. It's sadly not. Maybe join my Discord server, Snowbleach, and we can get a group set up, but I'm really like looking always for people that I can train getting into CMs. But it's like, if I do that, like one person shows up or two. And it's not enough. I need at least 3-4 people to actually show up. So yeah, I will try, but you can check out my Discord, yeah. This is Chronomancer. Chronomancer is really good, yes. Is the player count healthy? I would say the player count is healthy, but the problem is that the hardcore player count is getting very low. And that's a problem for a game that has some kind of hardcore content in it. It's just there is a big split, and that is not good. That's not what you want. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 optimization is not the best in terms of FPS. That's sadly the truth. Can I give some stability? Yes. Yeah, it's heal chrono, exactly. I mean, I'm trying my best to make content for all types of players in Guild Wars 2 so that I can actually give some kind of content creation scene for Guild Wars 2, keeping it alive. But it's like you can count the active content creators, I would say, on 2 hands. It's really not that big in Guild Wars 2, especially on Twitch, that are really decently often streaming. But even on YouTube, it's not that big. It's just sad. I really think the game is very much alive. It's just a lot of players don't engage with the social media. And that's a problem for content creators, of course. But I would try my best. I try my best. Yeah, glad you enjoy my class guides. Don't worry. Don't worry. I played Soul Beast Untamed, but I'm not a fan of Ranger. In WoW, I always played like Shaman, Monk, Druid, so I guess Elementals maybe, but only spec appealing to me seems Tempest. Would that tick my box? So, what would be similar to Shaman or Monk? Or Druid? If you... So, that's actually a tough one. That's a really tough one. Oh, we have 3 Reflects. You know, I trust them. I trust them. Maybe Firebrand Guardian could be good. What else? What else is? Yeah, I think Guardian would be actually decent. Willbender, Firebrand, that kind of stuff. I think that looks decent. Yeah, for some kind of Monk Shaman enjoyer. I think actually Willbender has really good builds. Really fun. Firebrand is really good in my opinion. Maybe check out Guardian. Yeah. Yeah, we have 3 Reflects, so that should be possible. I can do it without it. Yeah, maybe Daredevil as well. It's really hard. It's really hard to find that one single class that uses all of that. Welcome, Scado. Welcome. No, I'm completely fine with mentioning other content creators in my chat. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying there are not that many content creators that are actively playing the game and making a lot of content about it anymore. I try my best, of course, but I would really like to talk to other content creators as well. But there are not that many left anymore. Especially ones that are somewhat hardcore at the game as well, that actually know a lot about the game. I think most of them just playing casually, which is completely fine, but that's a completely different type of audience that you have then if you want to actually get better at the game as well. Nice. Hopefully we get the nice burst and reflect here. Nice. It's not me. That's good. Nice. No GGing necessary. Good. Decent group. Who's your favorite Guild Wars 2 content creator? That's a tough one. back in the old day, I really enjoyed watching Teapot and having debates and stuff. That was really cool. But nowadays, sadly, we don't have any big debates about it anymore. So that's not it anymore. I like to watch Grimcheck because he's a really good player. That's typically what I like to watch, really good players. But in terms of just watching random people talk about Guild Wars 2, I don't have enough time to actually do that. I really, nowadays, I create content for the most of the time on my own. What can I say? It's a little bit challenging to name a single content creator that I like would highly recommend just for other content reasons, because I don't watch a lot of Guild Wars 2 content creators that do similar content to me. I try to, but it's really hard because there's not that much actually in the game. So I think Grimcheck is one of the ones that I can recommend. If it's from PvP perspective, I of course like to watch the really good PvPers as well. I'm just someone that enjoys watching hardcore content by players that actually know how to do it, stuff like that. That doesn't mean I don't like the other content creators, I'm just saying this is what I like to watch. Yeah. Thanks, Woody. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for your support. Always appreciate it, but not necessary, of course. I try my best, even without any of your support. But thanks. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's somewhat of a niche game. It's true. It's especially if you want to make content for. It's not as active. I would say if I would do content for any other big game like Guild Wars 2, I would probably be better off. If I could make content like that, my Guild Wars 2 content, if I had enough knowledge and enough entertainment factor there. Yes, I think so. So let's focus here, not wipe the group. Yeah, there are some really good content creators. I don't want to name all of them, of course. I'm just saying a lot of the content creation scene feels like they are just playing very casually and just whenever they have time. No, it's again me. No. Last time I had like 8 bombs in a row. So let's see how many I will get this time. Yeah, I mean, 97 CM is really easy, you know? That's it. Let's see how many times we die at the Kinfall one-shot fractal. I expect people die there all the time. You know, it was like I died in the first try a bit, but then I never died again. I think it's so easy to see after you got it the first time. But apparently some people die like over and over and over. You know, in my showcase, I wanted to showcase it, how it works, the Kinfall fractal, and it was like absolutely insanity how many people died. It was like people died for like at least, I think people died for at least 10 times in one run without resetting. They just revive all the time. It was a really good showcase why this fractal can be really challenging. It was really good. We will see. If my rotation on Boon Chrono bench is at 33.5k, is it good to do 90% of it generally? Yes, of course. I would say as soon as you reach 90% of a benchmark, you are good. You are good to go. Obviously, you can grind harder to reach 100, but 90% is good. That's really good. I would say I personally want to reach 90% all the time. For DPS builds, I often go to 95% or something like that. Then I'm happy. But for most players, reaching over 80%, that's perfect. That's really like the only thing that you need. You don't need more than that. What are your predictions for the new expansion? So, in combat features, combat features, I would say... Okay, let's start with the other one. The big features, the big selling point for the new expansion is, in my opinion, a Roller Beetle rework or remastered edition. I think that is, in my opinion, the big selling feature, like Soto came with the Skyscale and Chantia Wilds came with the Warclaw. So I think the Roller Beetle will be the big new feature and stuff. In terms of, what can I say? In terms of gameplay combat features, I think we will, if we are really coping, we get new elite specs because they say balance is already shit or is already out of the window. Power creep is crazy. We go for elite specs. That's the copium answer. My realistic answer is getting a new core trait line for each class. because that's easier to balance, will not break the game necessarily, and still has some combat features. Maybe some new core skills, that could be it. Yeah. Yeah, good summary, Dark Kashi. Good summary. I don't hit 90% all the time. All the time at least 85 with mistakes, but my record is 93. That's good enough. I think over 85 for most of the time. That's like, I would say, you're good enough then. That seems like a really good number to recommend to people. 85%. If you want to be safer, go to 90. But that's it. Yeah. Exactly. It's better than most people, and that's really, you want to be as good as you can be, but you don't have to be perfect. Really, that's especially in Guild Wars 2 in the chaotic combat that will be happening in pack groups and stuff. You will never reach 100%. So just going for the highest number that you can, and 85 to 90% is already really, really good. So really nice. Yeah, thanks, Filthy. Hope you're doing fine. Why would Roller Beetle need a rework? I'm not saying it needs. That's the same for the Sky Scale. The Sky Scale did not need a rework. It was not like a big rework that they added. It was just some addition on top of it. I think they would make it the featured mount of this expansion. I'm pretty sure this will happen because they did that with, for example, the Sky Scale. The Sky Scale did not need a rework, but people still bought the expansion because the Sky Scale was the featured mount there. And it was added some stuff on top. I'm not saying that this Roller Beetle needs a rework. I'm saying it needs some more love, some more dedication to it because it's such an amazing mount. That's my point there. I think adding a new mount, I think that would be cool, but I don't see that they have enough resources to do that. Adding a completely new mount, I'm pretty sure they will not do that. I don't even know which kind of idea that would fill. Personally, I really don't know. What Guardian build would you recommend for 98, 99, 100 CM? So for 100 CM, Willbender is amazing. Willbender is like insane on 100 CM. It's the best build that you can play there. In 99, 98 CM, I would say Condi Willbender is decent, but Firebrand is probably the best option, actually. Condi Firebrand is insane there as well. Exactly. 2 to 3% because of sometimes even 5% depending on the build that you're using without infusions. Yes, you can calculate that off. Yes. What if my best is 20% in Condivert? Then you are doing something wrong. Then you have to check your gear or if you are even activating any buttons. I think good point. The Griffin could also be a mount that could be featured, but the problem with the Griffin is that's why I would say it's not a Griffin. It's a hidden mount of PUF. So it came with the PUF expansion already. Whereas the Sky Scale and the Warclaw and the Roller Beetle were mounts that were added later with some expansion or with some, how is it called? With some Living World season. So they don't have a real expansion added to them. So I think they want to sell a feature in an expansion itself. So that's why I personally predict that it will be something that they added before in some kind of non-expansion. That's my prediction there. Yes. Yeah, I think it was not the biggest point, it's true, but the homesteading for me personally is also not a good selling point either. So I think they will just continue with the homesteading. I'm pretty sure that there will be no such a big feature as homesteading coming with the next expansion, other than just homesteading 2.0. So new stuff, new homesteads and stuff. I think that's the thing that they will add. Maybe a new legendary as well, hopefully, but that's about it. I don't see it. Yeah, it's the fastest mount. Griffin is amazing. I think Griffin is really good, and I don't see that they will rework it too much. Yeah, I think you can make the argument, in my opinion, that Warclaw was a big selling feature of Chantier Wilds. It's a really good mount now after rework. So I think it's actually quite good. Maybe we'll get homesteading that is cheaper with the next expansion, or at least has more options also for cheaper investment. I think that could make sense. Yeah, I use the Warclaw all the time. I don't use the Raptor anymore at all. I don't even have it bound personally. So yeah. I wouldn't say it's sad if they update it and make it more interesting, make it cheaper to get some stuff in homesteading. I think homesteading can be an amazing feature. But I personally don't see a crazy good feature after homesteading that is completely new that brings the same amount of hype. I don't see it. Maybe I'm just too less imaginative, but I don't see it. Yeah, Springer needs a rework, but Springer will always be bad if you have a Skyscale. It's a hot take, but Skyscale is just so broken. Why would you ever take a Springer in most situations? It might be faster, but the Skyscale is better and more jack of all trades style. Would you use Raptor for the big pull of mobs? That's a good point. The pull is really good of the Raptor. That's a good point. Yeah. I believe the studio can do new systems. That would be cool. I would really like it if we get some crazy new systems. That would be really good. But I don't know what they cook up in the background. So that's just my prediction. You asked for my prediction. That's my prediction. Maybe you have better predictions. You know, it's just what I came up with. Golden Saucer would be so good. You know, that I think that would be amazing. I played Final Fantasy for a bit, and one of the coolest features that they have is this mini card game that you can play. I don't even know how it's called. And you need to collect some kind of cards that you can then play against another player. If they would include something like that in the game in Guild Wars 2 with the minis, you know, so I think in Guild Wars 1 there was some kind of miniature game. If you do that for minis, and minis are bound already to all the content in the game, I think that would be the best-selling expansion ever, if you would make stuff like that happen. That is, in my opinion, crazy cool. Really amazing. Triple Triad, exactly, that's how it's called. Yeah. Polymorph, exactly, that's how it was called in Guild Wars 1. Yes, that is, in my opinion, that would be, if they would add that to the game, and then you have like crazy infinite replayability of old Guild Wars 2 content, because you would want to engage to get the miniatures there. It would be like insane. It would be like, I think I would like get every single miniature, even if I wouldn't play Polymorph, you know, just to collect it. I have a lot of them already, but I would get every single one of them. It's insane. Keep mine in reasonable place. Yeah, I would like to hear other people's as well. So if you have some predictions for Guild Wars next expansion before July, before we get the announcement, let me know. I'm always happy to debate some stuff. You can already easily gain enough height and speed on Griffin in most every map. Yes, Griffin is absolutely broken. I think Griffin is one of the most underrated mounts, and I think it does not get the attention it deserves, but I feel like it's also not getting a new feature in the next expansion because it's already a PUF mount. So they want to sell PUF, the expansion, and not want to, for example, sell any expansion twice, in my opinion, or the same feature in 2 expansions rather. I think that's my argument there. I have 700 minis, so that's the top one thing I would like. Sounds like a cool thing. Then I hopefully will get it. I'm with you. I'm with you. Not to mention, if you need more, you can use Vigor on Skyscale to even go higher. Yeah, I think the Vigor and just in general, the setup for the Griffin is really good if you know what you're doing. So for example, you can use the Springer to jump up really high, then unmount with the 8 skill that you have, like the Oreen thing, the leap, and then you can use the Skyscale and the Griffin to actually get really high. It's really, really good. You can go really crazy fast on every single map that has some kind of verticality and not problems to go through. Yeah, it's really good. Next expansion is shutting down servers? No, I don't think so. I think Guild Wars 2 will stay alive for quite a while. Don't worry about it. Don't doom here in chat. There are enough doomers already in the game, so let's be positive here. And even if you think it's not the best, brightest age of Guild Wars 2, I still think we have enough gameplay to actually play at least 1-2 more expansions. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Sadly, all the big programmers are working on the next project. Best we can hope is more Expensive homestead decorations? Maybe, maybe. I just hope that the unannounced project gets into something. If they work so much on it and don't have like enough effort put into Guild Wars 2 anymore, I really hope that the unannounced project will be good. I really hope so. I bet they streamline mounts, like easier unlock process, or streamlining masteries, like streamer diving easier to get. Maybe. I mean, they did that with Soto and with Chantervals, so maybe we get that as well with the Roller Beetle unlock. It has a collection already, maybe you have to do both of them, something like that. Interesting. The tier list, don't worry about the tier list. The tier list will come out today. Later today we will get the tier list. I have, on my YouTube channel, I do like once a week or something, I do a video that is for members first. I never will do any video that is members only. Just members first, and it will typically release within 1 or 2 days after I released it. Just to give something back to my generous supporters. Oh no. We have someone that never did it. How many times will we get the kill here then? On the player. Any bets in chat? Yeah, I mean, it was like the game came out and Guild Wars 2 and people already thought it's dead. It's like, I don't even know where this misconception comes from. I think Guild Wars 2 is like really alive, but a lot of people always, if you don't play it, feel like it's not alive. I don't get why this is a misconception. I really don't. Even if they stop with the expansion at some points, there will probably be a lot of casual players not aware of it, so and keep it profitable. I think personally, I think Guild Wars 2 can be run without any big updates for like 5 years at least after that. I think they really can go in maintenance mode and will still have really good just player base. I think so. No, I think you can't see that. You can't see that it will release at some point. It's just saying members first. You will see as soon as it releases when it will release. You can't see the date beforehand. But don't worry, it will come out today. I can tell you that much. You're so mean, Echo Fox. You're so mean. Snowdrop is really good. We did it, the title run together, and you know, Snowdrop didn't die, otherwise we wouldn't have gotten the title, so don't worry. I think Snowdrop will be carrying us really hard here with DPS, with not dying, will be amazing. From my understanding, Guild Wars 2 dead comes from the time after level 80 till Heart of Thorns, where new dungeons came out, which players were expecting instead of open world. Yeah, good point. I think that's a good point, that a lot of people did not understand the end game of Guild Wars 2, or that there was no end game after the core game released. It was really like playing dungeons over and over, and that's it, to farm gold for legendaries. It was really like there was not any raids or any level 80 content. You didn't even have like a full level 80 map other than Cursed Shore. It was only Cursed Shore. And that was like, people were not really expecting that, or they really hoped for more endgame content. But I feel like a lot of games nowadays have the same problem, that they release in an unfinished state where you don't have any great endgame. Yeah. Yeah, good point there by Keshi. Good point. Hardcore mode, maybe. That would be interesting. Very interesting. LFG rework, yeah. I have actually a video prepared, Snowbleach. I'm not joking. Before you mentioned that, I have a video prepared coming out next week, I think, about LFG. And I think that would be an amazing feature to add with the next expansion. I doubt it, because they don't have that many resources, I think, right now to put that out. But that is one of the biggest things to actually add at the game. Making the LFG, making some kind of duty finder, maybe something like that, that would be amazing. The Wisp. Yeah, I really, really hope they will do that at some point. But you never know what they're actually thinking. I just finished the Chante Wild story a couple of days ago, yeah. Now I can focus on money and making to unlock the Driven. Yeah, I think the Chante Wild story is a little bit slow-paced, but when you're done, you will be happy because you have actually done it and you can now go back to gameplay and farm it. Till Heart of Thorns, you only had dungeons. Yeah, Reba and World vs. World PvP. Yeah, I mean, Guild Wars 2 was designed in a base game. It was designed as a competitive mode. They wanted you to level in the PvE, and then as soon as that, they wanted you to go to World versus World and PvE. PvP rather. They wanted you to play competitive modes. That was the end game of Guild Wars 2. That's how they designed it. That did not work out in the end, at least not as well as they expected it to be. But that's what they really wanted it to have. That's why they had, for example, ESL back in the old day with PvP and stuff. Obviously, it worked not out. It didn't work out. But yeah, I think that's what their end game wanted to be. People did not understand it because people expected PvE end game. And they didn't get it. So that's why there is no end game in Guild Wars 2 came to fruition, even though it's, in my opinion, not really true anymore. Do we have enough or do we have to GG? Yeah, we don't have enough, we have to GG. Yeah, I mean, that's this classical group that never did the CM before. I mean, the title is so easy to get, you just have to be aware of it. That's the sad part. I'm being able to queue into fractals one by one instead of doing a group for all and using 1.5 hours. Yeah, I mean, I would say going for one group is better if the group is decent. Yeah. Oh, don't run away with me, without me. Yeah, I don't know. So let's do this correctly. We have some super speed, that's good. That helps on this fractal to get into the things. No CC? I mean, let's do no CC then. Would be interesting. Yeah, Guild Wars 2. Oh, I can't go into CS here, that's the sad part. I need to be safe here. Nice, we lost one player. That's what we want. So good. It's always like this fractal is like big showcase of people understand the mechanic. It's like so easy. I mean, no, I wouldn't GG here. People want to GG, but I wouldn't GG because this person will probably die again. So let's just do it as for. Yeah, PvP, in my opinion, is like, it's still there. You can still play PvP, but I feel like in the beginning, they really wanted it to be some really crazy big end game. We have to, how can we do that? Now we have to GG to get some light back. If we don't GG, CC the boss, then we will not be able to get the light back and we will slowly die. I mean, they have barrier, I don't, so that's a little bit toxic. I have to heal myself. It's good. Now we have to stay on the ground. Now we have to go up. Very good. This fractal is really not that hard. Just the agony is killing me. Stop it. What is the end game now in Guild Wars 2? I have actually a video about what the end game in Guild Wars 2 is. The end game is either World versus World, PvP, or you can go in and do, for example, raids, fractals, strike missions, open world. There is so much to do in Guild Wars 2 in the end game right now, I would say. So many things to explore, so many things to get. But it's a sandbox game. You have to set your own goals. It's not getting the best gear. Guild Wars 2 getting the best gear is like done in like a week if you consistently farming stuff. But you really have to understand that getting better at the game, setting yourself your own goals, getting for a new legendary, getting more convenience, stuff like that. That's the real end game of Guild Wars 2. So yeah, I have a video about that in my YouTube channel, what actually is the end game of Guild Wars 2. I mean, we actually could have gotten the title. People are actually understanding how this fractal works. It's crazy. God. The agony is really painful, I have to be honest. The agony is like killing my healing output. It's so sad. And the scrappers are having no issue because they actually have the barrier all the time. So they can easily negate that. But we will get it anyway. I like the fractal. I mean, it's not the best one, but I like it. Staff Mirage is amazing on that one. Yeah, that's true. I like to point out Simmer is a big female human enjoyer. I will give me 1 second after this fractal. I want to show you something, Snowbleach. It's just you see it all the time on stream. That doesn't mean it's the only thing that I play all the time. Nice, we get the CM rewards. GG. See, I have 70 character slots, you know? Look at my characters. I actually have a lot of Asura. I have some Char. You know, I have like some Sylvari. I have like every single class on every single race, and some of them are even doubled. So there are a lot of characters that I have. Why you have 70 characters? Mostly for storage. Mostly for storage. That's a lot of characters. It is. It is. So basically, it's like, yeah, you want to get more skins and stuff. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, Vani. But I sent you the link. Give me a second. I will find it. Give me a second. It was just a rather recent video, actually. Here's the link to it. I showcase everything of the end game and explain it also. So be sure to check that one out. PvE is really rich. If we look even outside of instant boss fights, there's open world, meta bosses, meta events like 100 jumping puzzles, adventures, achievement collections. Yeah, homesteads, of course, fishing. There's a lot of stuff to do nowadays in the end game, but it's still, in my opinion, a sandbox game. It still requires you to set yourself your own goals. You can't play Guild Wars 2 and think the game itself will give you a clear path to what you should get next. As soon as you reach level 80, there is no tutorial or guideline where to go. And that's obviously something that some players want, and you will not see it in Guild Wars 2, so that might lead you to quitting it, even though there's so much to do. Yeah, I mean, level up a new character is like very easy. I have like I don't know, 7k to 10k tomes of knowledge, so I can like level my characters insanely often. It's just, for me, it's like 2 minutes of leveling a character, but I don't care, you know, I already have 70 characters. Why would I go for another one? It's just a spot if I wanted to go for chest Black Lion key farming. Yeah. It's the hardest part is to pick what to do first. Exactly. You really want to start at some point. Typically, I would recommend getting a meta build for group content and playing, for example, easy strike missions, some start out with fractals, stuff like that. I would recommend you, but that's only for players that enjoy group content. You can easily go into solo open world stuff. You will have a lot of fun there as well. It's always up to you. That's the important part. You play what you enjoy, and you will actually find a lot of different things to do in Guild Wars 2. I would also recommend everybody to try out competitive modes at least once, because then you at least get to see if you will enjoy it. Maybe you never played PvP in other games, but maybe in Guild Wars 2 it's like amazing. Maybe you like it. Or World vs. World, stuff like that. I think trying out all the game modes at least once to see if you like them, it's really good. Level 80 is super easy. A totally new player can reach level 80 in a week and just playing casually. Exactly. I think reaching level 80 is like just the tutorial of the game. As soon as you reach level 80, the real game begins. And that's the cool part about Guild Wars 2, that the end game is there at level 80, and you don't really have to play for that long to get there. And it's also not as painful to get there as in other MMOs. I think in a lot of other MMOs, the game feels really bad at the beginning. Guild Wars 2, in my opinion, feels not as good as it feels at level 80 and with the elite specs, I would say. But it feels not as bad as other MMOs in the beginning, at least in my opinion. Nah. 0 gold per hour, that's obviously not the thing that you want to do. But if you like to do it, then do it as well. You know, Guild Wars 2, you can even do role-playing as in almost any other MMO as well. If you're into that, do that. It's not my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Yeah. Guild Wars 2 is really rich in what kind of endgame activities you can do. It's just you have to find the right one for you, for sure. Besides groups modes, is it the best to use the achievement panel? Yes, the achievement panel, correct, is really amazing. It is like not only achievement, but it's also like a quest finder. So it's like collections, achievements, quests, all of that kind of stuff somewhat is in there. It's like a classical MMO quest finder, I would say as well. So, oh my god. Yeah, this is a lot of damage. Yeah, so I really recommend checking out the achievement panel where you can find all of the achievements, and you can also filter it so that it's a little bit less annoying to get the specific thing that you want to get. And leveling your mastery, of course. Leveling masteries in the beginning is obviously also very, very good to get more stuff, especially auto loot. I would say getting the auto loot mastery is immense to get in the beginning, stuff like that. Yes, I will be playing some PvP after this fractal, actually. No, after the next fractal. We have 2 more to go. Yes, then we play some PvP. Yeah, if you have a second account, then you will see what actually is the most worthwhile thing to do. Yeah, follow like Livra. That's a really good advice from having a second account as someone that already has leveled 1 Guild Wars 2 account. Then you actually understand what you actually need way more. Yeah. It took me 5 months just to finish all the story. I mean, everybody can play the game at their own pace and you will have fun. That's the important part, at least if you have fun. I think personally I don't enjoy the story too much, so I'm happy when I'm done with it, so I will rush it to get it done and then I'm never going back. But that's just me as someone that enjoys the combat and don't want to have slow bears talking. But if you enjoy that stuff, yeah, enjoy the ride. A man of culture? Nice. Actually, as a new player, the most surprising thing about leveling from level 1 to level 50 plus is that there was players all around me all the time, far superior to any other MMO. I agree. I think the Guild Wars 2 world, even the old core maps, feeling very alive because it's very incentivized to go back to do stuff there as well. Not as much as I would like to, but it's still very alive because you are all funneled into one server. There might be only one map currently open. And there might be someone that is like doing it for the first time. There might be someone that is leveling. There might be someone that is actually doing the 100th time of map completion. So all of those people are funneled into one map. That's really cool. Yeah, that's true. Guild Wars 2 is definitely still staying longer than a lot of newer games out there, for sure. Just because it's very, you know, it's made to last. That's what I would say. Yeah, unlock last mount, get Oreen Legendary, Aurora Legendary. Yeah, sure. That sounds like good goals. I like that, Aoki. Good goals. You will have a decent amount of time to grind after that. How's the new patch so far? Fun? Yes, it's amazing. I think it's one of the best patches in a long, long while. I like it a lot. At least for me as a content creator, it's amazing. Yeah, exactly. The Regalia is amazing to get as well. It's so good. It gives you essentially a free legendary amulet. That's what it is. For just doing some achievements, it's amazing. It's really, really good. I'm not even sure if we can get out of combat. I guess not. Guild Wars 2 starting zones are the best. It's so much life in there, and you kind of notice that Corteria is mostly the starting zones. Yeah, it's true. The Corteria maps the starting zones are feeling the most alive. I think there are some maps like where Tequatl is, Sparklife Fen, when Tequatl currently is happening. But also, for example, I feel like War can also feel somewhat alive. Or where just all the world bosses, when they are happening, they are feeling very alive, the maps as well. But there is some downtime, of course. So yeah, I would totally agree with you that the just the starting maps feel like insane amount of alive, but the other maps can have that as well. Yeah. Welcome, Alison. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's like insane what you get from doing the Prisma, the Champion Regalia achievements. It's really good. And it's also giving you like a rundown through all the content that we had in the game for a while. So it's really nice to just explore different maps and see different scenery and stuff like that, while also getting a free legendary. So I highly recommend you doing that. If you're a PvE player, want to get a legendary, it's amazing. It's really, really good. Yeah, I think the problem is that a lot of content creators are obviously long-term players of the game, and they are just a little bit sad about the game because it's not providing enough content for them. But I am a little bit different, even though I have like the same mindset of I don't have enough content in the game. I enjoy running the same content like for the 1000th time if I can play different builds there. So I'm still positive about the game because the game is amazing, and if you're a new player, you have a lot of fun to experience. So that's why I'm so positive. Yeah. Even Living World Season 1 is nice for all the 20 slot bags. Yeah, that's true. You get some nice bags there as well. I think that's a really cool thing that you get some more inventory space if you can't get it. That's really cool as well. Yeah. How long does it take to get it? It depends a bit on how fast you do the achievements, how efficient you do it. I think it depends, because I can't tell you how fast I did get it because I always did it when it came out originally, and they released it like the return to achievements once a week or something like that. So I was like doing it slowly with every single week. So I can't tell you how fast you can possibly do it, but I think it's actually one of the decently fast legendaries to get. For example, if you compare to Legendary World versus World Armor, it's definitely faster than that one. Yeah. Yeah, the achievement panel could also use some updates. I agree. Yeah, it's like everything in the game, don't rush it. The journey is the goal, so to say. Because if you have fun and enjoy it, then you will like the journey way more than if you rush it just to get the end game goal, for sure. For hybrid Connor build that can deal damage and also heal as an ally, which is the better third trade line to go with Chronomancer and Inspiration for higher DPS, Dueling or Illusions? I would go for Illusions. But like I said, I will do a Mirage build for that. Yeah, Mirage coming up, that is actually really good as a DPS build as well. And healer and DPS support is really good. So there we go, we did it. Now we can play some PvP. Idiot knows to add some treats into the game, for sure. They really do. But the problem is, in my opinion, they should add more of those cool features that they added back then nowadays as well. I think that would be amazing if we get something like a free legendary. Maybe make the hot take, but maybe make the Aqua Breeder something that is free, doesn't cost any gold, but requires you to, I don't know, replay some kind of old stuff that is not really played that much. People would absolutely go crazy and get all of this stuff. Would be insane in my opinion. But maybe that's just my take. The Champion Regalia, let's check where it is. I think it's Return to achievement. Let me check. Yeah, it's here. So under Side Stories, and then you go to Return to, and then there is like Return to, and then you have to scroll and scroll and scroll, and all of those are Return to, and they are all related to the Champion Regalia. Yeah, you have to do all of those. Yeah, I actually played this build, and I will release a guide about it very soon as well. The Fire Wizard is insane. It does like 45k, very easy DPS. You just press your fire skills off cooldown. It's really, really good. It's amazing build. Amazing. Really, really good. And I would highly recommend it to players even if they are low intensity, because that's still very low intensity in my opinion, compared to other Elementalist builds at least. Especially if you want to reach such a high number. Really, really good. Legendary Starter Pack gives you free Legendary Weapon or Head? No, it gives you the first part of it. It gives you like 50% of the Legendary in value. You have to still get a lot of stuff done after that. but it's like the starter kit. It gives you some kind of direction to start with the legendary. That's what it gives you. It's a really good thing to actually get as well as a new player. But you have to check out my Wizards Vault tier list if you want to see more about that, because there's really, really good things here as well, other than the starter kit. So what do we want to play? Let's do some ranked. Let's see what happens. I think the legendary starter kit is really good for a new player if you want to start and get a legendary, but that's the important part. It is not a free legendary. It is really, you have to still invest some time and gold to get the legendary. If you don't want the legendary, if you don't want to do time investment like that, then don't get it. It's really like, it costs a lot of Astral Acclaim, but it is also worth like the most almost in the whole Wizards Vault, but you have to invest some time to get the money out of it again. That's why I have a lot of legendary starter kits items lying in my bank, just because I don't want to invest a lot of time. You know, I have like 3 legendaries worth of the starter kits laying around here that I can still do. I didn't do it yet because I have to do map completion and stuff. And I don't need the legendaries because I already have them. But you could still get money out of that by just selling it. Yeah. It's really, really good thing. Really good. And don't hesitate to ask any questions. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to debate some stuff, give you some answers for sure. I have a bunch of kits that I bought and they're lying in my inventory. After the first time I crafted, I realized I couldn't be bothered and now I just buy them. Yeah, I would say stocking them up when you get them is always a good thing, because the Wizards Vault, the rewards of it, you will get all of the rewards that are limited before the reset. Especially because of this reset. This reset will be in 122 days, which is the longest we've ever had. So you have the craziest amount of time to get all the stuff here. So even if you don't want to use it right now, it's still worth, in my opinion, to stockpile, because maybe in 2 years you say, holy shit, I want to have this legendary, and then you will go for it. So I think that's in my opinion, always a good advice, because getting just regular weeklies, just regularly some dailies, you don't have to get all of them, you will still max out the Wizards Vault. It's really, really good. Yeah, exactly. You have to do the map completion. If you don't like the map completion, then the starter kit is horrible. But if you like the map completion, or if you don't mind it, it's really good gold. Yeah. I barely do dailies and still get all the relevant things, so I always get the starter kit. Exactly. It's like, really, people always think, oh my god, what do I have to get? But you will get all the stuff by just doing the weeklies for the most part, and sometimes a few dailies, and you will easily cap out, especially in this season, but in all seasons before as well. It's actually not too bad. I think the most worth legendary do is the spear. With Chante, you have a legendary weapon for all your characters. That's true. But the cool part is, sword is actually the same. The sword weapon is actually the same. Sword can be used on all characters as well. The spear and the sword are actually the same. Both are, so to say, useful on all 9 specs. At least if you have Soto. That's the biggest thing here. If you have Soto, you can use, for example, the sword on a Tempest. Otherwise, you would only be able to use the sword on the Weaver Elite spec. So yes, I agree. Spear with Chante Waltz is very good, and sword. Those two are really, really good. But of course, armor is really good. Trinkets are insane. Relic can be good as well. It's quite expensive, but can be good as well. And of course, runes and sigils can also be worthwhile getting. Yeah, PvP. What can I say? Takes a while to get the Q pop. Let's wait. Let's see what we can get. And let's see what kind of build we want to play. I was thinking of going for some kind of Heal Scourge, but I feel like Heal Scourge is so bad in PvP. Even with the staff changes, I'm not seeing it. It's just a bunker build. I played against some last few days. It was a little bit annoying, I have to be honest. Also, the most worthwhile legendary weapon is the one your class actually uses. No point in crafting some random best value legendary that you don't use, of course. But I think a lot of people actually craft the legendary because they like the look, and then they decide which kind of build they want to go for, which uses this weapon. I think this is also worthwhile. It's completely fair to do it like that. But you have to understand that the meta might change, so always going for a weapon that you actually enjoy the look and the playstyle of it on a specific class is the best option, even if it might not be the best meta pick right now, because it will change at some point. Yeah, the relic is insane. It's very easy. It costs just a lot of gold, but it costs so much gold for the value that I would not recommend it to most people because it's just not worth it. It's just not. Welcome, Hall. Welcome. Glad you enjoy my channel. I'm hoping to see you more often then. Thanks. Do map completion while waiting for queue. It's super efficient. Yeah, but the problem is I'm streaming, you know. I want to talk to you. Doing a map completion is already painful, and waiting for the queue pop is definitely smart to do the map completion. But if I want to talk to you and do the map completion and wait for the queue pop, at some point I get a little bit too much stuff to do at the same time. So I just, you know, I can relax a bit and wait here. But of course, you're right. If you're playing PvP and if you don't stream, then of course doing map completion is a really good combination. I did way too many map completions anyway, so I'm happy when I don't have to do it again. But every time I do it, I say this is the last time, and then next time I will do it anyway. So yeah. Thanks, Hol, for also joining Twitch. Thanks. I need 1 gift of might to finish my 4th legendary sigil. Can't wait till it's done. Yeah, you can also, that's the cool part. If you don't need, for example, the current legendary starter kit, you can buy it and can select the gift of might or the gift of magic out of this, because nowadays it's selectable. And you can actually get, if you combine 2 legendary starter kits together, you can actually get like almost 80% of a legendary out of it. It's really, really good. You could always give the mats to someone with a gift of battle, and yeah, that's true. You can also sell, so to say, parts of your own compound stuff. That's true. Good point. Yes, you can change the look of a legendary. You can change that actually for free. But if you do that, you lose, of course, the skin, and you typically want to craft the legendary also for the value of changing the stats. So changing stats on a legendary is really, really convenient. But of course, you're right. You can easily change the look of a legendary if you don't like it anymore. About the starter kits, can I get those others I missed over the years or not? As far as I know, I think you can't get the old ones. But let's check. I think you can only get the skins. Yeah, you can't get the old starter kits. So you have to be active to some extent during the season. I mean, it's after all some kind of free battle pass, I would say, the Wizards World. So they want you to re-engage with it. Right now you can't do it. You can't get it again. I hate map completion of the base game. With that in mind, what is easier to craft? Gen 1, Gen 2, or Gen 3? So the easiest to get is Gen 1 and Gen 3 because you can purchase it from the TP. You can just purchase it for a lot of gold. If you want to craft it yourself, the easiest to get, in my opinion, of those 3 is the non-collection bound Generation 2. It's really annoying, but you have to stand at the crafting bench for like 2 hours and you will get it. But that's it. Oh, that's a Reaper game. That's a Reaper game. That's, if you don't mind that crafting process, it's the fastest to get. If you want to do or if you want to craft it yourself, I think Generation 3 is easier to get than Generation 1, even with the starter kits. But if you don't like the map completion on the Generation 3 things, you can go for Generation 1 as well. I think they are not too much different, I would say. But in my opinion, if you want to go for the fastest option, just to get legendary convenience, and you want to craft it yourself, Generation 3 is the fastest. Yes. What are some of the best new builds? It's definitely in PvE, it's like the Fire Wizards, it's Condi Mirage, it's Bladesworn, Power Bladesworn, and I would say there are a lot of cool builds, healer builds as well. You can play Heal Mirage, you can play Heal Scourge very well now. That kind of stuff, yeah. Raz, I have some PvP game guides, so you can just check them out. Just getting into PvP is it called, I think, on my YouTube channel. You can check that out, then there are the best tips there, so to say, concise in a video. Yeah, I think for me, the Gen 2 is, they are obviously way more expensive than the Gen 1 and Gen 3. but I want to get all of them just for the skins. I'm already like 70% there with all my legendaries. I'm just missing like 10 weapons, then I'm done. But it costs a lot of gold. I will get there at some point, I guess. Oh no, what's going on here? Now I have to concentrate on the match for a bit. Please bear with me, and I will catch up in chat later. Okay. Okay. Nice, we got the corrupt. And the invuln force. Very good, very good, very good. Corrupt again. Nice, we got the kill. With my auto attack. Can't get the rest here. That's a game. What can I say? What is going on here? I mean, not so happy about my death here, but what can I say? Yeah, the candlestick will be a big goal of mine in the long run, for sure. I have 70 characters. Or 70 characters and 72 slots. So I have still some left, so whenever I feel like it, I can get some more. Yeah, I think the thing is a little bit annoying that they added some notes to the preview and did not give us some kind of additional page where you have all of them together. I think the wiki will has that at some point, but right now, this is not good. It's not a good map state here. That's not a good map state. My team is dying left and right. Okay, double dodging Ellie. That's what we want. The healer. Oh, Willbender. Oh, Willbender. Yeah, I mean, this is like sad. Very sad. Glad you enjoy my channel, Ayman. Glad you enjoy it. Yeah, good point there in chat. Yeah. What's the second laziest legendary after the free amulet? That's a tough one. The free legendary amulet is really easy, and then after that, I would say it depends. All of them cost gold. So if you the laziest would probably just buying something from the TP like a weapon. Yeah, I think this match is over. Sad. I mean, we have a core thief. What did I expect? Maybe, I mean, my team is dying left and right. I don't even know where to go. Double dodging Ellie? What the fuck is going on here? Ah, it's the dodge build. It's the dodge build. What are they actually doing? How can I survive for 2 minutes against those 2 people? It did no damage. I want to ask about the jewelry we slot into accessories. Can we get them back somehow, or do we need to buy new ones? So the jewelry, you can get them out if you use, for example, an upgrade extractor, but typically you have to salvage them or get new ones. It's not made for being replaced all the time. It's like a rune on the armor. If you don't have an upgrade extractor, it's hard to get out of there. We're talking about exotic jewelry, if you're wondering. It's only in accessory. If you go for ascended ones, you actually have the same thing. It's also able to exchange the infusion slot in there. It's the same, but you need to get, for example, oh my god, how many people are always on me? Yeah, you need to get the extractor for that, or you just have to accept getting a new one. Yeah, that's the difference there. It's so good. I don't show the map chat here, but it's like insane how many people are like this one person is like insane how they are flaming us. But it's like, yeah, top DPS and I have barely 100k. It's what's going on? Skill issue. Yeah, skill issue for sure. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we can get a better match. That was a really bad. I did not play well, but my team played even worse. So. Just got Chant der Wilds. Where can I get Ascended Spear? Yes, you can get one from the quest, from the Wizard's World. But you can get an Ascended Spear also, of course, from raiding, from strike missions, from fractals. You can craft it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do that. And you can get some lucky drops. Maybe you have even some World versus World drops, or some. You can get some armor, some boxes like that where you can select it. Stuff like that can work. There are many, many ways to get Ascended stuff. Yeah. So in the Ascended, so I don't have Ascended things here, but Legendary functions exactly the same as Ascended. You don't have an upgrade slot like Exotic, but you have an Infusion slot. And Infusion is just something that you need in Fractals. It's really just for Fractals. It's just giving you the ability to survive in higher level Fractals with the Agony. But you can get some minor, very minuscule stat increase by using stat infusions. So stat infusions would be something like those here. +5 power, +9 Agony resistance. So that means that you can survive in Fractals and you get some additional power. But it's not necessary. You can Ascended gear, I would say, works perfectly fine without having any infusion slotted in if you're not playing Fractals. Welcome. How good or bad is Mesmer in PvP? Mesmer is really good. Mesmer has a really good Power Mirage build, has a really good Support Chronomancer build, and has a decent Virtuoso build as well. Mesmer is a very good spec in PvP right now. Have you played around with Inferno Ellie? I'm having fun with Power Staff Catalyst. Yeah, I think Inferno Elementalist is really fun. I can show you after this match, I guess. I have a really, really good... I will do a build guide about it. Inferno Ellie is extremely strong. I can show you the rotation. It's really easy to play. It's really fun to play, and it's just camping fire. Yeah. What do you think about Bladezone? Is it worth pick as a second main? Bladezone is really cool. If you can play Bladezone, I'm talking about PvE. In competitive mode, Bladezone is bad, but in PvE, it's a really good class. What do I play here? I need something fast. I play Willbender. Yeah, so in PvE, Bladezone is a really cool class to learn because it's amazing if you know the encounter. It's not that good if you're new to an encounter because you have to understand when to play it correctly. But it's really, really good. Yes, exactly. The infusion can give you some shiny effect, but they don't have to. They can. So for the Fire Wizard build is for PvE. Yes, it's for PvE. Necro Engineer for PvE, DPS, Fractals and Raids in general. Both of them are really good. I think Reaper DPS is good, Harbinger DPS is good, Scourge DPS can be good, Mechanist DPS is crazy good, Holosmith DPS is hard, but it's really good if you can perform on it, and Scrapper DPS is also really good. So I think all 6 elite specs have really good DPS builds. Go for the one that you enjoy the most. For Fractals, I would say Scrapper might be the best of those, but for raids, all 6 of those work really well. Staff Cutter or Staff Weaver, which one has more damage on World vs. World? Staff Weaver has more consistent damage, where Staff Cutter has more burst damage. So it depends on bit if you want to kill the enemy, like casting 3 meteor showers on top of them. If you can do and kill them then that's Cutter is the choice. If you can't kill them in the first 3 meteor showers, then you will do more damage on Weaver. The Inferno build is on Elementalist. You play either Tempest or Catalyst, but I play Tempest. I will show it after this match. Yeah. I will showcase. The audio on Twitch is much better. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's typically because of YouTube's regulations and the quality of it. It's just YouTube and the... I'm sorry, but I hope it's still good enough on YouTube. So what do we have here? Come on. No, this guy survives with 10 HP. Solomon. Kill Solomon. Nice, we got the kill here. Get the cleave. It's the same Tempest, I think. Oh, gosh. So much damage. It's a spear. It's a spear spellbreaker. They have so much damage. It's really insane. Nice, we got the kill. Just get the kill here and then we get hopefully the map out of that. I prefer burst. Oh my god, it's a harp. It's a power harp. I think I can't fight this. No, not especially not with this guy coming there as well. What? How do I have 3 people here? What? Okay, at least we got far, I guess. It's fine, to be honest. That's good. That's enough. That's enough for me then. Nice, we got a kill here. Oh, that's such a close match again. I don't know what my team is. The rotations of my team are like so skewed. What is going on? They just leave me here at mid and then 3 people out-rotating me. Nice, we should get the kill here, hopefully. Okay, I thought I could jump that. Can I get the interrupt here? Don't think so. Get the... Oh, that was close. I almost got it. Now I have to leave. Yeah, that was good. I mean, it would have been better if I got the cleave on the warrior, but now it's fine. I got the kill here. I'm trying Mirage and I'm not that I didn't try it before. It's so fun. On Power Mirage, you go Greatsword Spear, and on Condi X, Torch Pistol. Exactly. It's really, really good. You can even go Greatsword on some fights. It's really, really good. Yeah. What's an easy way to get Emblem of Conqueror solo? Just capping camps all the time. Capping camps is really good for that. I will go and let them stay here because we can't get the rest anyway. Yeah, so capping, I get that quite consistently by just capping camps, just being somewhat like a roamer and trying to get camps, denying Dolyags and that kind of stuff, and you will get it eventually, but it takes way more time, of course, than going for full all-out world versus world Zerg fights, for sure. So, who is the good target here? There are 4 people here. Just leave them. You can't engage that. Yeah, supply depots. Exactly. Exactly. It's a power hub. I typically can't fight a power hub, but I can at least try. Yeah, that's what I feared. Why did they hit that? It's actually insane. Yeah, I can't find that they survived. They have so much sustain. But at least I die on point. You know, I want to deny the point here for as long as I can. Because my team is actually winning the map. I'm enjoying all 3 game modes a lot currently, playing Virtuoso main. What do you think about Virtuoso main? Virtuoso main is really good because you can play it in every single game mode. You can play it as a roamer, as a Zerg fighter. You can play it as a PvP build. You can play it as a Condi build in PvE, as a solo build, as a power build. Everything works. That's why Virtuoso is really good. You can't fill support roles, but that's okay. You can fill the DPS role really well. Nice. That was a full casted thing here. Nice, 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 nice. That's such a close match. Nice, we got the kill on the warrior. That's good. Now we can let him bleed. Would be a nice feature if we could talk with team in-game. Do you really think so? I think if they would introduce that, that would be such a toxic feature. A lot of people would flame each other. I think it would be used in a bad way as well. But I guess it would be an interesting feature if everyone would use it correctly and nicely. Yeah, sure. This is a Power Reaper? What the fuck are the people playing? Okay. Nice, we got him. Now we have to go for the stillness buff. Very good. Let's go here as well. Oh my gosh. The Condi. The Condi. I think I can get killed. This is a Power Reaper. That's a very easy target. Nice, we get Solomon as well. But they get the rest here. Get this guy, please. Come on. How are we actually? What is going on? Oh, Inji is capping. That's such a good troll. It's such a good troll. It's insane. I'm a returning player. I have limited time, but I can't decide on a main to level it and on the story master it overall. I'm a PvP guy overall between Revan and Guardian. I think Guardian is better right now overall. I would go for Guardian because Guardian has more flexibility in all game modes, whereas Revan is a good pick sometimes, but it's not very flexible most of the time in competitive modes. Guardian is really good. I would go for Guardian. It would be some nice content for streamers for sure. Oh my god. Yeah, I will be dead here, I think. Yeah, that's too much damage. 2 power builds, I can't fight that. Yeah, that's true. If you could turn it off, then it would be fine. But it would be like, I would never turn it on stream, for example, because I know people would be completely insane in the chat. That's just always like that. Does any site have that Inferno build posted? No, not yet, as far as I know. But I can show it to you. Give me after this match, I will show it, okay? You have to get the solo monk kill here. Nice, we get him. I think. 1 second, 1 second. No, we... Oh my gosh. Mirage. He's just so evasive. It was fall damage. Get the kill. Oh, it's not lost yet, but it's looking dire. It's looking dire, I have to be honest. Get the kill, please. Please, guys. Oh my god, now it's lost. That's actually crazy. We could have won that one. Do you think if they added timer leaderboards to Earth Instant Content, all veterans would come back? I think it's too late for that. They should have added that when they released that content, because then people asked for it actually. We wanted leaderboard for fractals all the time. They never did that, sadly. Sadly. I think it would have helped the game a lot, but they didn't do it all the time. I can't get this. My god, I thought the pull, it is over anyway. Can you give me some tips about a mental empowerment for Kata? It's hard to maintain 10 stacks. Not really. You have to understand what skills actually give you the elemental empowerment stacks, and then you can get that. But typically I would say it's more practice, and you can't upkeep it 100% all the time if you don't play like crazy builds that are made for that. So now it's time for the build. Let's show it. So I will show you the build. Give me a second. So you go full Berserker, of course. This is the trade setup for the Fire Wizard. I will do a build guide about it very soon. Just wanted to, because people asked here. Full Berserker setup with Flame Legion Rune, Scepter, Focus. And you go, of course, with Bloodstone Relic. And this is the trade setup. Yeah, the most important one is this one. Nice, Samstorm. Very, very good. Very good. Almost done. Okay, so I will show you the rotation as well. Give me a second. Because it's actually very easy. It's really it's really easy to get over 40k with this build. 45k is possible, but it's actually really, really easy to get that. So let's check if I have the correct food. No. But the rotation is really you camp fire and spam your skills. That's it. I mean, it's a little bit more intricate than just spamming your skills, but for the most part, it's just spamming the skills. Oh, I don't have the food ready. No. And I have to buy it. Give me a second. It's called meat chili. This one is good enough. And you need 12% more burning duration. And then you go to the golem area, just classic, same thing. Add all boons. And just spawning there. Then you precast your elemental. And you start an air attunement. And I will just do the rotation and I will explain it later. So you precast your air attunement as long as you can, and then you engage the fight. And then after that, you just spam your skills and you stand in the hitbox of the enemy and you just cast your fire skills off cooldown. And that's the whole rotation. That's really the build. And you get very high numbers with this one. It's extremely easy. And it's very unique build. I think it's a very fun build to play. And I hope they don't nerf it too much. I really hope they don't. The cool part about this build is you will get way stronger the longer the fight goes. So you have a good burst, but your damage at after 50% is even better. And yeah, that's the whole rotation. You just spam the auto attacks until the end of time. Yeah, this is full Berserker. This is full Berserker, and you will see at the end I will get something like 42 or something because I don't have any infusions and my rotation is not perfect. But like I said, the damage number will increase if you do with infusions, of course, and you also have to play the whole golem because only then you will get the highest damage number possible because you have a trait that gives you 20% more damage when the enemy is below 50%. Of course, you need to do that to need to complete the golem completely to actually get the damage number that high then. Yeah, that's the whole build. I'm obviously not doing it perfectly here, otherwise I would get 45k DPS, but I can show you the in-game damage number for that. Yeah, it's 41k, you can see. The arc DPS is not correct, this is 41.1k. If I played it a little bit better, then I would reach like 42, 43k, and if you have infusions, you can go up to 45k. Yeah. I will do a build guide about this video, about this coming up on Monday, I think. So I will explain in more detail. Full Berserker, this is the gear setup. Yeah. And the new Grandmaster trait is the important part because you actually get now burning scales on power damage, so you can go full Berserker Elementalist and you still get crazy good burning damage. You will know you don't take any condi damage, that's the important part. It's full power. Yeah, it's full power just to get this damage conversion. It's really fun, really cool trait, really interactive. Yeah. Really, really cool and interesting synergy, and definitely something that not a lot of builds, or I think no builds, have. That's really the cool part about it. What other weapons can I use with this build? Or Scepter is the only one good enough? Scepter is the most damaging one. You could go for Sword, you could even go, if you wanted to, for Dagger, but you lose a lot of damage. I think the Scepter is by far the best option. You also want to have a lot of blast finishers, so that's why you have those two. You want to cast the Bloodstone Relic. If you go for any other weapon, you don't have that, and it's like, it drops off like drastically. So this is like a must, I would say, for this build, sadly. Yeah. Better put on a new bikini. That character looks like the typical Fire Wizard player. I mean, I have to be honest, I don't have any, what's it called, skins on there because I'm using the outfit for this character. And I like this. This looks like a burnt paprika style. I think that's actually, I'm liking that. Focus, Warhorn or Dagger? I'm using Focus right now because you get the most amount of damage with your Flame Wall and the highest amount of uptime. If you want, you could go for Dagger or Warhorn, but the damage will be lower. Just straight up. Yeah. Outfit Enjoyer? Yeah, I mean, having so many skins and then just using outfits, yeah, that's me. Yeah. I'm gonna make a World vs. World build with it. Assassin build with Condi Pressure, Dagger, Full Marauder. Sounds interesting. Sounds really cool. I mean, you have to be careful though, because this is like only really good if you can get some burning duration. If you don't have any burning duration, I will swap that. Give me a second, for example, to Quickness Cutter. You're using the same stats, but no burning duration. The burning falls off drastically. Yeah. So keep that in mind. It's like insane how much value you get from burning duration. So you really have to get burning duration to make this build actually worthwhile. Yeah, it's true. Scepter is like a very good weapon in a lot of situations, and it's not the most exciting one, but it's just really, really good. So in this build, you have to use it. It's really like, it's really have to. Yeah. Who designed the new open in wiki button? Couldn't just put use all last? I don't know. I really don't know. Some people are using Force Sigil or Accuracy. So I personally use Accuracy to easily crit cap, but you could go for Force, but then you have probably to swap some gear around. Yeah. Do you think core staff elementalists can compete after changes? No, not at all. I think core classes are really bad in DPS. It's just you can play them, but they can't compete. It's a build that you can play, and you will be able to clear most content with it, but it will not be like insane in terms of what they can provide. It's just not as good. Yeah, no problem. Always happy to help. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? This is the build. I hope you enjoyed it. It's really fun. Yeah, that was... Is this a power build? Yes, exactly. The idea of this build is you run full power, but you have one trait that converts all your power in damage for burning. Or not really that way. Typically burning scales with condi damage, but this trait makes it so that only burning scales with power damage. And that means that you can go full berserker and still get value from burning. This is the whole idea of this build, and it's really fun. It's really good. And the cool part is it still scales with the plus 25 condi damage increases. So this means that you get some crazy nice numbers with this. It's really good. There will be a condi version, yeah, but not with this trait. As soon as you take this trait, you have to be power. But yes, there will be a condi Tempest version as well, don't worry. I'm using Scepter Focus, yeah. Yes, she's hot, exactly. It's the Fire Tempest. That was the design of it. That was the whole design of this character, was using some kind of Fire Tempest. Yeah, exactly. There will be a Viper version for it, I think. Viper or something like that for Tempest. But it will probably have less DPS than this power version because it's currently quite busted. Yeah. It's a really good power build. It's really fun. Yeah. Exactly. So do you have any other questions about this build? It's not too complicated. It's actually one of the easiest builds to learn and understand. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good boon up time. It's crazy. Is there any new development on Engineer Holosmith builds after the patch? All content? So for PvE, I would say not too much. For competitive modes, however, there might be some crazy cooks. I will give some updates after today's monthly AT and also after some testing in PvP as well. But right now, there are some crazy builds around. So I will give you some update there, Ben. But not right now. I have to do more testing. The Condi version, the problem is as soon as you use the Bloodstone Relic, you are like really locking yourself into Scepter. And Scepter is good on a Condi build, but typically Pistol is performing slightly better. So we will see what actually is happening. If you want to have Bloodstone Relic, or if you go for a different Relic, you could go easily with Fractal Relic and you will be decent as well. So we will see if the Condi Tempest or Condi Catalyst build will be somewhat similar, or Condi Vivo rather. But we will see. Not right now. I don't know what the current state is. Yeah. Are there any good Dagger Tempest builds for PvE? Not really. Dagger Tempest is like, you could play it as a support, I guess. That's it. As support Tempest, something like that. You could make the argument for going for an Alacrity Heal Tempest, but typically it's better if you go for Alacrity Heal Tempest to have Warhorn. Warhorn is an insane weapon. Heatsink is really good, and Sand Squall is really good. So I don't see running Dagger in the offhand typically, but maybe. Yeah. So for competitive modes, I would say Bunker Scrapper seems like really good, and Holo, DPS Holo seems like decent, yeah. For PvE, I would say Scrapper is still the king of power DPS. It's really, really good. And for Condi DPS, I think Holosmith is not on par with Mech. Condi Mech is like insane right now. But that's just my iteration, yeah. I mean, if you need to get the relic, the Bloodstone relic, you don't have to do the CM for it. Of course you can, but you don't have to. You can also do the Chantia Wilds reward track in World vs. World or PvP. And there is in the end a selection for the relic, and you can get the Bloodstone relic, for example, there as well. All the new relics, all the Chantia Wilds relic. The same works for Soto as well. You can get the Soto relics from the Soto reward track, even if you haven't done the achievement. That can help a lot, yeah. How do Ref and Guardian compare in good builds, versatility, DPS, mainly PvP, World vs. World, and different playstyles and weapons? I think Guardian is better. Guardian has more playstyles, or at least more versatility in competitive modes. You can play Firebrand, Willbender, even Dragon Hunter, whereas Herald and Renegade and Vindicator often play exactly the same build, just with a different elite spec. and they are not that good right now. So I would go for Guardian typically in good builds. When you compare it in PvE, both of them are really good. PvE is like every class and every elite spec can be played, but in competitive mode, I would say Guardian is a little bit better. Why don't you have a feature lava from DPS Weaver? Are you afraid of the power elementalist? Yes, I am really afraid of showcasing this. I don't want to, you know, there is some kind of unnameable, or how can I say, a build that I don't want to speak about for World versus World roaming. And it's the same for this lava font elementalist. I don't want to speak about this build in my stream as well. It's too broken. Core builds. Core Revenant is actually surprisingly decent, but I would say it's still overshadowed, obviously, by elite specs. Core Guardian, on the other hand, I would say is actually surprisingly good in all game modes. I think Core Guardian is one of the best elite specs, or not elite specs rather, core classes that is actually playable in all game modes. You can play some support Guardian in competitive modes, and you can play really good, easy to play Hammer Guardian in PvE, or you even play some kind of Condi solo build that is also very good. I have a guide about that on my YouTube channel already. It's actually surprisingly good core Guardian. So I think from the core class, Guardian is better. Yeah. The Forbidden Alley build, exactly. Yeah, I think that's also the end of today's stream. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was really cool to showcase a lot of stuff. Hope you had a nice stream with me. Wish you a very nice rest of the weekend. And I hope to see you around. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Thanks for all the follows and the support. Really appreciate it. Yeah, see you around. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend.